Hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, YouTube. What's up? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome on into Mushoku Tensei Sunday. We are just jumping into it. If I sound out of breath, I will just give a whole fucking monologue to people here where quite literally I just got back from vacation, so my mind might be all over the place. Worry not. We will take this apart. We will take this scene by scene as much as we can. The purpose of the channel is not to go ahead and be like, oh, you know, like fucking emoji reacting 99% of the time. There's 101 other channels that can do that. The purpose of this channel is actually to dig in deep, psychoanalyze, literally stop in, talk about it, go 110 like different verses that we can in here in terms of the differences of character analysis, mental health analysis, so on and so forth. I'm just stating this out there. There's going to be a lot of pausing. There's going to be a lot of talking because that's what this is about. Because let's be honest, anime is like you can relate it to real life and we can heal and learn from anime. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and just jump right into it, guys? What do you think? Let's go. Hold on. Hold on, that fucking sound. It reminds me of something. That sound reminds me of something. No. You guys can look. You guys can clearly tell. I'm looking at... is it this one? What is the episode? Hold on. What is the episode with Orsted? Oh, episode 21. Wait, episode 21, was it? Season 1, part 2, episode 21. Okay. I'm trying to find it. Season 1 part. Okay, I feel like I'm missing it, and I don't know where the fuck it is, man. One episode before. Okay, Turning Point 2. Okay, you're right. It is Turning Point 2. Hold on. Sorry, my mind instantly. I heard, and my mind's like, oh fuck, oh fuck. Orsted's coming. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. My mind was correct, bro. And just like the... Weird. Really, really weird. They both last 3 seconds. Like if you take the 1 second out of silence in this, complete in silence, and once the thing comes in, they both last 3 exact seconds of before like a glitch comes through. It's similar but different, but it still reminds me of that, you know. Wrong answer. Around the 4th minute and 20th second. Hold on. We're going there. Let me see. Well, even through that, the reason why I'm saying this and the reason why I like pinpointing this stuff out. You're right. It is very similar. The reason why I pinpoint this out is because parallels exist for a reason. Let me take out the other one because my internet's garbage. It might do a... help Ed move out stream one of these days, but no, like the reason why I do this because like I hear this and it registers something in my mind, which it registers literally a huge shifting point. Is it when it comes to this? We saw a cold opening, parallels and Mushoku Tensei. No way, no way. Look, let's go to the first one. I know you guys are like, what the fuck are you doing? What do we get off of this first one? A cold opening. a shift. We start seeing something happen with Rudy, right? What do we got in episode 0 when it was like Sylphie's Sylphie's episode? Cold opening. 0, an aspect of change. Why are we getting an aspect of change again? And this time it's raging. It's not even the soft change. It's not even a moment of like, we're going to take our time, like it's slowly drizzling down. No, this is one of those changes that's like, it's like in Turning Point, bro. Turning Point was a major change, a point of change for Rudy. A major point of change for all the characters where all of a sudden they started going in their own perspective patterns. They started growing, advancing, doing what needed to be done. And I wonder if this is going to be the advancement to that. Are we going to see a parallel, not even to say to like the dragon god, right, to Orsted, but maybe some sort of symbolism to him? Well, wouldn't that be interesting? The winds of change? It could be. Absolutely. Good evening, forecast GLC, everyone. That's why I'm throwing this out there. And here's the thing. We're even going to throw this into perspective, right? Which is, how do people change? How have you changed throughout your life in an actually like serious manner? What has helped you change? I'll be honest. Maybe it's because Rudy has switched party from Counter Arrow to Soldat. Not as a big change, but maybe. Well, Lord Hamshack, yeah, absolutely. That's like, if you change friend groups, that's a pretty big change because you're going to have to act differently based on the friend group that you're in. But let's take this even a step further. How do you change? You change because of motivation, internal or external. You change because of connections of friends, of family, people that you care about. And you also change because of love, of needing or belonging, right? If we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, those might all be aspects of interpersonal change. That's why I'm hearing this and I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like, I'm hearing just off the wind, where is this going from? And it can also mean like a feeling of frustration. But anyway. Man. How big is this party? Holy fuck. How long? Okay, real question here. Real genuine question here. And y'all can go ahead and answer me this. How long has Rudy been with Soldat? Because is this literally their first mission? Because the way that Rudy just responded non-verbally feels like they've been together for a long time. A year. Okay, almost a year. Around a year. Yeah, because to me, like, let's just take a simple quick gander at this, right? Look at the non-verbal communication between them. I feel like I need Soldat like as a real bro. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a time skip. Okay. Like the non-verbal communication between Soldat and everybody. And Rudy at his second, like walking beside Soldat though. It shows how much they trust one another. Like if I didn't trust Rudy, I could probably keep him nearby to keep a watch on him. But at the same time, just the self-responsibility, the self-efficacy that comes from this is huge. The motivation from this. Stayed with Counter Arrow one more year with Soldat. He's 15 now. Our boy has become a man. Shows how much they know about one another, right? And for me, if I was Soldat, I'm gonna be straight up. You guys might hate me for this. If I was in Soldat's shoes and I am the leader of this walking armada guild party here that we have, hurt people tend to hurt people, right? And if I am the leader of this party, I would immediately try and establish a set of golden rules, a set of golden boundaries. And Soldat has so much responsibility on his back because any one thing can end up breaking like a party, right? There's around 20 party there. Because what I would do is, like, let's say that all of us are in here, right? And let's say for whatever reason, Callan is Rudy. Callan has gone through a really, really tough environment, so on and so forth. What I would do is I would tell, hey, you know what, Callan, dude, I appreciate you. You're amazing. I love you, man. But and this goes out to everyone in this guild, y'all can't date each other. Y'all can fuck anyone else you want. Literally, you can go out there and we can go to the houses together. We can do 101 other things, but not each other, because we're family, okay? And family don't do that to one another, okay? But you guys know why? Would you guys know why I would implement a rule like that? And okay, this ain't no Oshinoko, but do you guys know why I would implement a rule like this? Alabama enters. Exactly. Don't date where you. Yeah, exactly. That's literally a step leader. Wait, what is step leader? Is that like the actual guild here, or the actual party here? Because if so, that is genius. That is actually really, really smart. But do you know? Yeah, because things go bad, it can fracture the group. Exactly. If things go bad, it'll. Yeah. So that's party. Okay. So if phenomenal thinker. So that 10 out of 10. Dating propinquity tends to happen. Don't matter where you are. You do tend to go ahead and start falling, like, for people in the amount of time that you spend with the person. The easier it is for you to form connections, the easier it is for you to start falling in love with someone, right? However, that also fractures and causes a lot of fracturing within cells if groups and boundaries aren't established. I mean, imagine being at a party where your loved one, and they died mid-mission. Yeah, you're talking about psychological trauma and a lot more. Or breaking up with them, or all of that. It causes tension and it makes people not perform at their best. Soldat played this like a fucking soul daddy, and that if he did that, that is amazing. Like, that's some 10 out of 10 shit. Damn, Rudy. He's calling out. Think about that. This Rudy is different from the counter arrow Rudy. This Rudy's calling shit out. This Rudy is overseeing shit. This Rudy is communicating. This Rudy might be, like, if we were to take Rudy from counter arrow and this Rudy who's in a healthier environment, like, who do you feel has taken a step for growth? He still has issues, but he's focused, right? And that's the number one thing, is like, we all have issues. I hate to throw it out this way, right? This is the one with Soul Bro. Yeah, he brew big time. Because that's my thing, is if we took Rudy, who was like literally giving his life, not caring, he wouldn't volunteer, he'd want to be alone, he'd want to do so on and so forth. And this Rudy is like stepping up to the plate. This Rudy is communicating. This Rudy is doing the things that literally were like failing, or that he couldn't do, or took him forever to perform in the previous one. Knew how to deal with someone like him. That's, yeah, growth in Mushoku Tensei. What are you talking? What? Oh man, I'm gonna be straight up, dude. You can like or you can dislike a show, right? And this ain't for you, DXC. This is just for other people out there who I literally see coming into like the comment section from time to time and saying this. You can like or dislike any show. That's okay. No one's gonna go ahead and be like, oh, you disliked it. But the moment that you come up with the same rhetorical arguments and no way of backing them up, I question where you form these opinions. I'm just going to be straight up about it to anyone in the YouTube comment section trying to go ahead and like downplay Mushoku Tensei is not an anime of growth. Because so far, this anime in one season, and this season so far, I've seen more growth than most isekai anime do in 2 seasons. I'm just throwing that out there, you know? And so, yeah, some have beaten the same dead horse so much. It's not, yeah, exactly. So that's why I will always throw that out there, is if you think Mushoku Tensei shows absolutely nothing to do with psychology, I invite you, like legitimately, if you're in the YouTube comment section, you're like, no way you can really do this, I invite you to come on. I will host an open forum, and if you want to come on and tell me how Mushoku Tensei isn't an anime about change or growth or psychological maturity or whatever, I will literally open up this forum for you and allow you to come through, but you got to come through with references, no ad hominem attacks or nothing like that. Just legitimate. This is why this show is not good. And if you can't do that, then Yeah. This...
何匹だ？8。いや、10匹はいますね。こっちに気づいてますよ。松が近づいてきます。早い。3回しろ。泥沼、降りてこい。援護を頼む。了解。
おお。
泥沼。はい。今。かかれ。
Ooh. Oh, okay, hold on. What the fuck, dude? I didn't expect Soldan to just go in there and like one swing takes off a full arm, dude, of a bear. Holy shit. Yeah, Sid is coming back in October. We'll definitely be watching Eminence in the Shadow. Quagmire is so good. Yeah. But like, where did he learn this spell? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember seeing some of the comments that were flying by last time, where this mud spell is like a video game spell, right? Like, oh, it's an S. Yeah, well, that's an S ring. S ring Sparty. Los espadinches de ese mundo no es ninguna broma. No, he made it up. He made it up. His name is Quagmire for a reason. Giggity. Oh, not that reason, Sertel. Oh god, he used it on Paul. Oh, I know he used it on Paul when he was a kid, but for other, he came up with it combining water and earth magic. I mean, it's a really good spell. Think about it this way: it's an area of effect spell, right? Psychologically speaking, if these were human enemies, what does that do? No, penitas comenzamos, Jesus, un minuto. So, like, let's talk about it. Area of effect spells. What does that do to you if you're fighting with someone and they get stuck in mud? It's demoralizing. Not only is it demoralizing, your speed has been cut down. Where does your focus go? Even in fighting, right? In case you guys don't know, I know you guys might look at me and be like, no ways what he's saying is true. Can absolutely prove it. I don't want to give out my docs myself in this instance. But nonetheless, I'll say this. My family owns... Like, it's been literally a generation of martial arts. We now have a martial arts gym, a big dojo, where we teach mixed martial arts, judo, jiu-jitsu, boxing, taekwondo, kempo, muay thai, Krav Maga, you name it, we probably teach it there, right? And we teach upcoming LFC and UFC fighters, which a majority of our family has been a part of since we were 3-4 years old, essentially, if that doesn't say anything. So... one key area that's like we always talk about, and I'm not even going to go into like the whole aspect of like, oh, you have this and how do you defend against that. I'm just literally going to talk about the very basics of the psychology of fighting, right? And this is something I really wish there was more studies being done into, because I'm a freak for this, man. I love this shit. Footing is key in fights, and you're absolutely right, Combat. However, if you're fighting someone, let's say that we're fighting, right, in a professional fight. If you've ever sparred with someone, you would know how quick this goes. You're sparring with someone. Someone steps on your foot, what happens? Really quick. Just a quick, simple, maybe they misjudged, maybe they didn't back up enough. What happens? Someone accidentally steps on your foot and is holding their feet there by accident. Because maybe they didn't, like, you know, sometimes you'll overstep, sometimes you understep. You look down. You get distracted. You don't know what the fuck to do because his weight is on your foot. And if all that weight is on your foot and you try and move back, guess what? You're more focused on your foot than you are on the punches coming through. You might try and block, but you can't use that foot now. Oh, I would, yeah. Everybody fails. Pierdes tu ritmo y te frustras. Exactamente. So when we're thinking about stuff like this is exactly what I'm thinking like Rudius must have gone through. He must have gone through a form of thinking where it's like, let me break a person's rhythm. Let me go ahead and introduce an element like this where all of a sudden they're slowing down. They have to focus on getting out of something. So it's a lot easier for people to be able to go ahead and come in and do what needs to be done. That is some like... that is really, really phenomenal levels of thinking. Like, for Rudy to be able to come up with this as a young kid when he fought with Paul, and even past that, like, continuously use it and perfect it in the way that he has, huge, man. Absolutely fucking huge. Sorry for me to nerding out. Sorry for me nerding out, but I'm, like, looking at this, and I'm like, that is so fucking smart. That is legitimately, yeah. Certain people have advantage in melee. Keeping them at a distance is super important to a mage like them. We know, yeah, we know he would just one tap these guys with rocks or fire. Yeah. Orsted reference, yeah? Orsted reference. Guys, what the fuck? I know that they were talking about it in the last episode. I didn't think we were going to come through with it. Dragon!
どういうことだ。サボってたんじゃねえだろうな。
雪ぼこりで見えなかったんです。く
そ、撤退だ、撤退。
Oh.
迷惑をかけます。
Oh.
に逃げてください。
The insta tactics here, right? The fact that Soldat and him, like the imagery even being used here, like, hold on, we're backing it up. We're 2 minutes in, guys, and we're going a little hard, right? The imagery being used here of both Soldat and him, the power dynamics, is Soldat like, and I'm just gonna be straight up about it. Is Soldat talking down to him like he's a little kid, or is Soldat actually treating him with the respect and talking to him as though he is a party member? Let's be straight up about it. They're equals. They trust each other. So that's like, dude, what the fuck? Did you see that or not? They're actually equals. They're trusting in combat roles. Yeah. And Soldat is just a party leader, right? But he's treating him like, dude, what, did you see that or not? Like, what happens, right? It's respect. It's more like banter. It is. It is. And this is what I'm pointing out here is just because, like, someone can go ahead and interpret this scene and look at it and be like, oh no, Soldat's being mean to him. It's like, no, this is one of those environments where you put a lot of trust into someone and you're questioning that. You're like, dude, did you see that? Like, what happened, right? This is what I love about this, because for me, it's showing that the relationship dynamics in here have grown to a point where Rudy feels comfortable being at an equal pace, right? Being at an advantageous pace where he's not only he's not just giving up into the void like we saw previously with Counter Arrow. In fact, he's coming up with tactics and quick movements to be able to go ahead and defend everyone, right? Think about the support system here. It took him like 3 seconds. Like, let's look at this. He said retreat. 3 seconds later, Rudy already came up with the plan for diversion. Took Rudy 3 seconds to come up with the plan to get everyone saved. That's exactly why. It's like team communication, team banter, and that's how you talk when you're in competition, right? This is definitely a good example of show not tell with storytelling. Sadly, though, Lord Hamshank, one of the big things with that is a lot of people really want their hand held for a lot of things, right? Like, they will interpret things quite literally instead of like trying to look in deeper at times. So smokescreen immediately. So this is something that comes to my mind that I looked at and I was like, ooh, this is this beautiful shot right here. This shot right here. Beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful shot. No homo. Actually, all the homo at this point. But it's a beautiful shot. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Seeing this come through, I'm like, he's wearing socks, right? Right. No. Seeing this come through, it makes me really interested. Hey, yo. It makes you really interested. Hey, yo, free fit pick? Oh, yeah, the grippers, man. The gripper. Fuck you guys. You guys are breaking me apart today. A feet jump scare. But no, seeing this, it's making me interested because it feels as though like Soldat might be the face and he might be really in tune with the group, but Rudy is sort of that, like, he's the shadow of Soldat, i.e. in ourselves we have two different, like, there's this whole environment thing of like how we see ourselves, right, versus the shadow of ourselves, right? So for example, this might be the persona that you guys see me as, right? The persona that I maybe am off screen is I'm like, yeah, fuck that dude. A lot less really calm down, like maybe a little toxic when I play Overwatch, whatever, right? One of them, right, the persona, this is still me, on or off, bro. I hate to put, they're probably better not come off as a shocker. Like, I don't really, yeah, exactly. They're two wolves inside of you. But through that comes in this big philosophy, this big aspect that's, how much can Rudy grow from this? Rudius has been growing. Rudius has been steadying himself. Rudius probably still has a lot of sexual trauma, if we're going to be straight up about it, right? So, let's throw this in here. He's grown in strategy thinking. He's grown in being able to go out and be a part of a group. He's grown in being able to go out and do so many aspects and things out there. Does one heal from sexual trauma quickly? No. Does Rudy need to start healing, or at least find his own journey in personal satisfaction? Not even like sexual trauma, but sexual health. Probably. Is oh God, I hate to ask this question, but I'm just saying it based off of like the previous episode. Is Elinalise gonna come in and try and fuck Rudy? Or is she gonna come in and go for Soldat, and Soldat's gonna be like, I've had my soul sucked. The comment, bro. Okay, it's spoilers. Okay, that's the right question to ask, bro. Stand strong, boys. Don't give me. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was just thinking about the previous episode. I'm like, what would enable a big fortune of change? Like, we'll get the answer in like 2 hours, bro. Oh shit. Okay, that's the right question. He's going after Discount Paul. Oh, bruh. Míralo por tú mismo. No, güey, no. Uh-oh.
おい、赤霊だ。来てるぞ。グリズリーは奴だから逃げて。ああ。
Even this stance, right? The way he turns and looks at him. That's the way that you turn over to a friend. You're like, dude, what the fuck? Even the way he turns and looks at him, it reminds me of like the little kids. It's like, bro, what the fuck? You let it score? Like, you know, when you're playing like soccer or some shit. Bro, what? Right? Like, in this scene, I hear the roar in my mind and instantly thinks of a single worm would take a group of 40 to kill. This is currently a group of 21. Notice me, senpai. Holy shit.
雪ぼこりで見えなかったんです。く
そー、撤退だ、撤退。
煙幕をかけます。バラバラに逃げてください。
Woo! Oh, Rudy. En el próximo episodio de Dragon Ball Z, Rudy se transforma en Super Saiyajin. Es el Rudy as he's turning into a Super Saiyan. Okay, this is beautiful, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Esto es por fin dragón. I'm not even gonna lie. This is fucking beautiful, dude. Like, I actually like the fact that like it's showcasing. You can see the bubbles boiling, like, you know, Super Saiyan Rudy coming out of this like a Mega Chad, right? Más o menos. Yeah, retreat. I know. Sir Talk. I'm a retreat, man. Oh, fuck, dude. Demuestra todo lo que aprendió. Sí. We've seen people tank Dragon's Breath, Orsted, and Rudius. True. I do wonder, though. Rudy... Ooh, okay, hold on. Is Rudy going to take this down? It might even be unconscious. And if by unconscious, I mean, sometimes we do stuff without reason, right? I.e., how many of you have gone to a store and then for whatever reason you're like, fuck, wow, I needed this computer, you know, controller here. I needed it, right? For whatever reason. And you walk out there and you're like, why the fuck did I pick this up? Like, I didn't need it. Sometimes unconsciously we process a lot of guilt, a lot of reaction, like a lot of literally like everything from basic needs to higher up. I wonder if unconsciously this dragon might go ahead and represent one of those challenges, right? Challenges are forms of growth. And what if like this dragon, like for unconsciously, I'm not even thinking like, he's like, oh yeah, this person's Orsted. No, but what if unconsciously this dragon in his mind is like, this might be a big semblance for Orsted, right? Or this might be a big semblance for a challenge that I need to get over. Someone that's stronger than me. Someone that's this. Someone that's that. Your unconscious goes ahead and presents a whole schema of things. This is why sometimes you go to Walmart and you're like, instinctively you pick up things you don't need. Because back then, someplace in your past, you're like, I really wish I had something like this. I really wish I had, you know, Chica here. Like I would walk around in like, you know, the Netherlands or whatever, or I'm making an example, not really, but like, you know, and I was like, wow, look at this cute doll. Never had the opportunity to buy it. Come over here, bam, walk out with the Chica doll. Not really what happened. I'm just using it as an example, right? El Dragon. Orsted used spoiler, not flesh. Una PlayStation 2 chip. Goddamn. But that's why I'm throwing this out there is like, for me, seeing this transformation of Rudy and growing into the young man that he is becoming, like it's awesome to see his personal growth. Ooh. It takes 40 people. 40 people to take down a dragon. Giggity. It took one Quagmire to break this guy down. Hey, yo. Oh, man, that's pretty good. One Rudy, legitimately. So anyways, I started blasting. This is why it's awesome. This is why it's like we're seeing these forms of growth. These are all S-ranked people, as you guys have been saying. This is an S-ranked party. Yet Rudy is clearly demonstrating, like, he's not doing this on purpose. He had the opportunity to let them shine, yet he stepped in when he was needed. Easy clap. Look at Soldat, dude. Soldat's all proud. This guy looks like he belongs in Vinland Saga. This dude looks like he would race me in a car and be like, why are you going so fast? Soldat is just something off, man, to show off the power of Giggity. Got that shit eating grin. He does. He really does, man, but it's awesome. Okay, now that we've seen that, let's talk about it. So a lot of people have told me, Ed, you know, I've seen some comments be like, why can't you just succinctly watch the whole thing and then break it apart and analyze it? Because how would that enable actual understanding of a thought process of growth of whatever, right? I can be out here and be like, yeah, well, studies have shown this, not actually show any study or show any actual psychological forums or whatever, right? Let's talk about this though. And this is what I like doing because this shows an area of growth, right? This scene right here, you'll miss the moment. Hold on. This scene right here. What does this group do? What is this group doing for him? No, it wasn't. Time has passed, yeah. What is this group doing for him? He is missing some stuff. It is building his esteem. It is building the purple block. Sex. He's missing sex, sure. But however, he is gaining some sort of friends with this, right? He does have his family back home. He didn't have his esteem and confidence and whatever. This is building this shit up. This is why this is important, right? Oh, no worries, DXD. No worries, guys. But no, realistically, this is affected. You're right, dude. You're absolutely right. Sex is still affected. So if we were to come through with the red marker and like just put that little like red aspect where things are missing, all of a sudden, yeah, he might be having all of this. He might start growing in these areas. What does your brain lead into? We'll use the same example we used previously. Someone steps on your foot and is not letting it go. Where are you going to focus before you take a step? Your foot. Where is Rudy more than likely going to start focusing if this is all being met? His foot. Otherwise known as sex, right? Not just any form of sex. We're talking about actually being able to go and perform or being able to go and do things. So, and of course, that might affect sexual intimacy and so on and so forth. Why is this important? Because Soldat's group is quite literally allowing him to meet the different areas that, like, Counter Arrow helped build him up. Counter Arrow helped build him up in the fact that, like, hey, you're not alone. You can go through friendship. Literally, Counter Arrow helped build him up in all the three of the bottom areas. Soldat's group seems to be helping out with this esteem. Right? So if this is what's happening, all that's left is for that need to be met, and he'll be self-actualizing a little bit. We go up and down the triangle at all times, right? This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. A good therapist, a good psychologist should always be talking about this with you guys. So, what does this mean? Are we going to see an aspect of Rudy who's always trying to go ahead and find some sort of solution for himself in this aspect? Are we going to see this become his crutch, where he might not try and form relationships because I'm broken. I'm a broken man. You don't want to be with someone like me who can't perform. Oh, maybe I can be your excuse if you're, I don't know, like if you really need to escape your partner or whatever. Maybe I can be the reason why. I'm a broken man. I have to be there for you. Oh, demi-humans. Oh, I'm here for you. Everyone, I'm here for you, right? But I'm sorry, I can't literally be there for you. I can be the metaphorically there for you because this is broken for me. You guys see where I'm getting at? Like, oh, by the way, I'm just throwing everything out there to showcase this. It's not like this is really going to happen. I'm just using the frame of aspect in this. And this is all psychological speaking. Weird kink time and Counter Arrow Rudius was helpful, but they already had an effective mage. Yep. They probably needed Rudy much more. Well, let's put it this way. If you haven't slept in a while, let's say you're getting everything, right? For you guys, right? Let's use this. Let's use it like this. Let's say that you're having trouble sleeping. You're getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep. You're having an overly abundant amount of sex for whatever reason. Job, everything else is secure. Everything else is secure, but you're having an over amount of sex and an under amount of sleep. What do? How does that affect you? And I know we're getting into the nitty gritty here. Your hentai manhwa. How can you even manage that without sleep? Now you see where I'm getting at. All of a sudden, sleep takes priority, and you're like, bro, I need to rest. I need to go take a nap. I need to go do something. That becomes a priority for you because all of a sudden, this is affecting everything else. So this is why I like to highlight this, because these are aspects of actual change. This is sort of what's amazing. It's like I'm seeing this and I'm like, like actual forms of growth. You do it in your sleep subconsciously. The multitask grinds it. You do. You really do. And you also process the day while you're sleeping. So anyway, are you guys ready to go ahead and continue a little bit? All right, let's go. Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and flip this over. I know why I'm doing that. I can just use this. All right, here we go.
いや泥沼お前本当に強いよな。
伊達にま大陸を旅してきてねえな。強い強いとは思ってたけどここまでとはな。
相手も死にかけでしたからね。
なあ泥沼、そろそろうちのパーティーに正式に入ってもいいんだぜ。お前だって居心地が悪いとは思ってないんだろ。
いえ、長売れてしばらくしたらまた次の国に行きます。
Oh.
母親を探さなきゃならないんで。今日も一日ありがとうございました。
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I need to pull this up. Hold on, I need to pull this up. Okay, I think I got it. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take a moment here. Let us pray to the holy relic, shall we? Holy relic, we need you and your spirit to guide us through these dark times. We need the holiness that is Roxy to be able to get us through these. I'm on my knees. We're praising the holy relic as we get ready to get succumbed into what may come from this. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen and a hell yeah, ladies and gentlemen, from this holy relic worship here? Oh, that's so, you guys are fucking over the top. I love you guys. What the fuck? Anytime we see the holy relic, guys, we gotta throw this up there, man. But no, okay. Why is this important, right? Amen, brother. Ed is the apostle of the Roxy Church, not even the pastor, bro. Hell, amen. Yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. I don't even... Oh, God. We're going full on. So why is this important? A lot of people look at this and they're like, what a creep, right? What is this? What is that? Well, idealization. I hate to put it this way, but is it any different than quite literally people being like, drink this person's blood and you shall be forgiven, right? Everyone has a different form of prayer. And this is me throwing it out there. We all pray to different things, whether it's to our own spirituality, our own growth, our own aspects. Maybe it's to the future. Maybe it's to the past. Maybe it's to the aspects of personal growth or whatever. A big thing through this is sometimes routine, and sometimes when it comes to pedestal work, quite literally in this sense, it allows one to process events throughout the day. It allows us to go ahead and be able to go and compartmentalize a lot of different aspects, right? And keeps us going for our goal. Rudy's goal might be to be able to go and survive and get his name out there and be able to make his, like, you know, needs met and be able to go and continue. These panties might be a representation of change for him, the same way that your security blanket and Mr. Fluffy, whatever your, like, you know, your little tiger plushie that you have on your bed might be for you. I see a lot of people try and demonize, how can someone go ahead and do this? And I'll go to, like, you know, hang on to panties and cry. Last time I checked, there's still a lot of you guys that still have your ex's number on your phone and you check their social media and you tear up whenever they go ahead and post something with their new partners. How can you still hold on to that and cry? Similar aspects. We all have quite literally a form of a security blanket. I'm just being straight up about it. You aren't supposed to tell them. And I know, but this is me just being straight up about it. It's like we all have different forms of security blankets. Well, some of us can be our phones, right? Some of us could be, some people go and get dogs, and that becomes their security blanket. Where all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, Mr. Pibbles, you're so amazing, right?" Unlike John or Mary or whatever, right? All of a sudden they quite literally pedestalize something else instead of dealing with the issues at hand, because it's easier for them to sublimate their feelings than to address them head on. And sometimes we don't get the closure that we need or the closure that we want if we're being realistic about it. What's up, Masters? How you doing? So let's talk about that. Hold on. Bam. Sometimes, why is it pulling it up in Microsoft Edge? Ew. Okay, anyway. Sometimes, what do? We sublimate it. Satisfying an impulse in a substitute object in a socially acceptable way. We sublimate it. I'm feeling jealous. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling grief. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. And instead of letting it out appropriately or being able to go and talk about it, we choose some things that we go ahead and let out our emotions with, right? Right? Edge. We must now cleanse ourselves with Roxism prayers. Ladies and gentlemen, we must now pray. We must now go ahead and pray to the holy panties, the holy pantsu, to go ahead and cleanse us of our sins here. Exacto, la reliquia. It's a security blanket. Exactamente, Jesús. He visto gente que dice porque no las quemó como el pelo, que no las ocupa. So no, there's a difference between finding closure for yourself and trying to take a step forward and then completely closing a door. Right? If I had my ex's hair and I burned it, that means I'm trying to go and take a step forward. But if I have like someone that like literally changed my life, they gave me these cat ears, right? They completely changed my life. They allowed me to start seeing that my past life isn't who I am. Is it going to be easier for me to get rid of the hair, or easier for me to get rid of this like these cat ears? It's going to be easier for me to get rid of the hair, because for the getting rid of the hair is for me being able to go and like step on in, right? This might be this is a security blanket because this allowed me the process of change, allowed me to grow and allowed me to see certain things and establish some of the base needs and foundations that I needed in my previous life. Internet psychologist encourages viewers to pray to girl panties. Oh God. No. La reliquia es un tesoro. Yeah, it's a treasure. Exactly. Bueno, y el pelo es un trauma. Exactamente, Black Maestro. Speaking of burning errors as hell. Oh, it's actually a pair of panties that she left behind in exchange of a pair of his own that she took with her. Oof. Why would he? There's not a painful... Exactly. There's not a painful association. But this is why we're bringing this up, because concepts like this, I've seen people try and downplay the importance of a scene like this and try and be like, you're trying to... For example, if I make a post out of this, right? If I literally break down and like literally bring out all my resources for like, why kids do what they do, teenagers included, and like bring in sources, I bet you anything, it's going to be like, why would you do all of this for one episode of Mushoku Tensei? Number two, it'd probably be like, I ain't reading all of that. I'm already guessing the comments that are going to come from this. Number three, Rudy's a pedo. Number four, right? Stereotypical comments that get thrown out there. Number four, ReZero is better than Mushoku Tensei. Number five, this isekai, like, it's life, man. Like, Mushoku Tensei is like nothing compared to it. It's like, we're not analyzing those other animes. They might be great. ReZero is great on its own. All love and respect to all the other animes, and it gets its due time, right? But what we're talking about specifically is how a person grows. We're not even specifically aiming at one thing. I ain't gonna read all of that. Then why even argue on the internet? But this is why I'm throwing this out there, because for me, it's like, this is important to talk about. Because a lot of people, like, I hate to put it this way, a lot of people go through periods of their life where they're like, is this normal or is this not normal? And there's no one talking about shit like this. You might see people on the internet call themselves a therapist or whatever, and they literally take an entire 3-hour long movie and do a 10-minute just emoji react with little segments of, yeah, that's what grief does, and don't expand on what is normal and not normal, and you know how everyone's different, and like bring up like actual explanations of stuff. And all of a sudden you have people out there that are like, I still didn't get the answer to a question as to what is okay and what is not okay. And I'm going to say this: if you have some sort of a Roxy's panties in your own place, right? Doesn't actually have to be panties, but can be like, you know, a remote. Anything can be an agent of change for you. But if you have any of that for yourself, right, the limit as to where it's okay and it's not okay depends on your own values for yourself. Is it affecting your everyday life, or is it to a point where you quite literally feel that without it you can't succeed? Where are you at with it? That's why I'm bringing this up. Anyway, wait, who's that? I'm like, wait, who's that, DXD? Thanks so much for following, Shironeko. Oh damn, dude, he's really growing. Ah, cool. Why is this huge? Gains, right? And I think that's a big aspect to do that. It's personal gains, right? There are no worries, man. Like when we work out, right? Some of us feel really good after a workout. Speaking of working out, like I'm really excited for that. Once I'm finally able to move out of this area, I'm finally able to hit the gym again for a good while. All right, we're good. All right, let's continue, guys. Let's go ahead and do it. What? Let's go. All right, let's go. But I will say, hold on, before we even jump into this. You working out. Yeah, I know. That's all. Like, before we even continue, like, you working out, doing stuff, super duper important, man. Your physical health doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes of literally stretching. It could change literally your brain to start being in a more active mode. I'm just being straight up about it. I tend to go ahead and like work out at night, like literally after stream. I do a quick little workout and then I go to bed. In the morning, I wake up, I do another workout, go to work, you know, that type of a thing. Just depends as to you. What are you comfortable doing? And how does that work for you? Why? Because actually exercise, there's hundreds of studies out there, and I think I could bring one up where quite literally like, exercise and whatnot allows you to feel that self-confidence, right? It allows you to go ahead and start appreciating your gains. It allows you to start feeling love. It's easier for like, just not just hormones, but pretty much everything, right? Like, we're talking like your all hormones, all endorphins, everything to start being activated quicker. So it's good for you to work out. I'm going to go ahead and state that out there. You guys should have the opportunity or the ability to go ahead and do that whenever you can. Not strenuous, but just enough to get you going. Before this continues, though, if they're making songs about Rudy, how far is his name traveling? If you hear a bard singing a song about you, how far has your name gone? I'm going to be straight up. To those of you that I encountered this weekend, thank you for saying hi. You guys were really kind. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are absolute fucking goats. I went up, as I mentioned when we started the stream, started on Thursday, went up, had one person recognize me, a couple people just say, hi, are you blank? And it's like, okay, yeah, we can take pictures. Amazing individuals. You guys are fucking goats. Aside from that, though, it shows the impact of travel, right? It shows the impact of growth. So hearing songs about Rudy is already happening. I'm like, I'm putting myself and trying to empathize with Rudy, and I'm like, your name is traveling so far that I'm wondering if other people, other students, if you get into this magic university, or when you get into this magic university, as we know it's going to happen, will think it's fair or unfair for you to be there with them. It means a lot if it's reached. Exactly. Anyway, I'm going to back it up. Hey, yo. I need a life preserver, boys, because we're going in deep. I need a life preserver, ladies and gentlemen. This might be a little bit of a slip and slide here, and I'm not ready for it. I can't swim, so, you know, I'm still bricked up, and I haven't watched it since the morning. Oh, bro. You know what they say? Oh, you guys are... oh. Oh no.
聞いていた通り、目立つからすぐ見つかりましたわ。今さっきようやくって言ってませんでしたか？もっと東にいると思っていたんですの。
Bro. Don't tell me. Hold on. No. Elinalise, take 4 steps back. I know you might not like Paul, like everyone else has been stating. Are you about to suck the soul out of this boy? Try to suck the soul out of this boy in order to get back at Paul or something? Like, Nanda? Oh no. The bards think they're doing a fucking they think they're doing a solid, bro. The fucking bards, bro. What's up, Super Kettle Meow? How you doing? Oh my god, bro. All the bards, guys, drop some love and support for Super Kettle Meow, please. The bards are just like, fuck yeah, we'll play some good music. We'll play, you know, we'll play el sonidito. In order to go out and get our man, fucking like, yeah, set the moon, my bad. Hi, how you doing, Super Cat? You know, I hope you're doing well. Welcome on in. 1, 2, 3, 4, There's a song. There's a Mexican, or I guess a Spanish song. It's not even Mexican. I don't even know where it's from. There's a Spanish song where all it is quite literally saying 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's literally like one of the beepers that you hear an alarm going off just on repeat for like ever. El beeper, el baile del beeper. Oh god, dude. A classic for the memes. That's why I'm like, I'm fucking laughing hysterically. I'm like, these guys... Straight up, it's like you see your man trying to get some action, right? So what do? Wingman the fuck out of it. Super Catamel, what's up though? How have you been? Super Catamel, do you play Wild Rift? Because I recently downloaded it on my phone, and I'm trying to learn how to play. Ya no puede caminar. Oh god. So through this, I find it interesting. Used to play Wild Rift, yes. Every day. Oof. Play regular League? I will. She does something I've seen her do in the previous episode, and I kind of want to point out. Look at the way that she breaks this tension, right? Look at the way that she's able to go ahead and manifest. We're not even talking about power dynamics necessarily, but quite literally, like through a seduction aspect as well. The patch update messed up my account. Oh, Super Cattle Meow. El sonidito. Yes, el sonidito. I just can't play that because it's copyright music. But I have to know Super Cattle Meow. I'm watching Arcane, so I have to know. So immediately, this pointing, right? You've already identified there's no running away for this person. We're breaking this down by like scene by scene just because this happens a lot in a setting like this. If see we're out in a club, right? We're walking through, Super Cattle Meow's there, and I'm like, Super Cattle Meow. What does that do? What does that do to that person? From Crown. Aside from run, it now establishes I'm not pointing at anybody else. I'm going to have an interaction with you, right? You're on the spot. You can't hide. I found you. This is the power dynamic that's being set. I've called you out. I've taken this first step, right? Atrae la atención. No te puede... Exactamente. You can put them on alert. Yeah, you can if done incorrectly. Okay. I've talked about this before in other shows. Why does she do this? She walked, ignored everybody else, came through, is still standing and talking to him. Why? Why? Let's talk about this. What's up, Eliana? Yeah, we're still here. Cause he's hot. No, porque le quiere chupar el alma. Lugo. She's like control. No. Oh, yeah, actually, there's aspects of control. Like in a way, a good person that can go out and establish a sense of like urgency, advocacy, even seduction, knows how to play with aspects of control. And in a sense like this, I get the feeling that she can be very dommy-mommy, right? She knows what she wants. She wants to suck your soul. She wants to get your seed, right? And she'll get that by any means necessary. Her not sitting down immediately already establishes that she has like a greater statue of power and or control in the situation. Like she knows what she wants and she can go ahead and get it. Hold on. Because look at that, right? She established her needs, established why she was looking for him, still hasn't sit down. In fact, takes a side glance at him and goes like, fucking creepy. I can't do that again, guys. I can't do that again. But you guys get what I'm saying though, right? Like she literally takes a while. Oh my. Oh my. No, but she takes a while. No, please, no. No. Literally takes a while to like establish this. So she established her needs, whatever her needs was, and then went ahead and reminded like of whatever her secondary needs was, which for me kind of scares me because this is screaming. This is someone that like this hypersexuality that she has might be a curse. This hypersexuality that she has might be a curse, in that like I do like a lot of counseling, right? I do a lot of counseling with kids, adults, people with all sorts of addiction, including addictions to sex. And when it comes to hypersexuality, it comes to a point where a lot of people, for example, say that they're just dating around or they're trying to get serious, but their partner can't meet their standards. It can be pretty tough on a relationship to the point where they feel like they are legitimately hurt legitimately in the moment where they're like, my partner can't meet my needs, and I feel like I'm a normal, like I can't do certain things. And it's like an internal battle where they're like, I just feel like I've been in an affliction. Where does this come from? Usually a lack of control, like someone taking a portion of your own power and or control away from you. And it establishes hypo or hypersexuality, which is interesting. Una maldición. Sí. Oh, God. Anyway.
なんだ？一目惚れでもされたのか？それとも最近結構たくましくなってきた肉体に垂涎かな？成長期でもあるし、筋肉がついてきたのだよ、筋肉が。
どうしました？あ、いえいえ、何でもありませんわ。
泥沼に女がいたなんて。
Bro, the bard's got your back.
私の名前。
Think about it. Holy fuck, dude. Everything Elinalise is doing and the way that she's been animated is insane. Is she gonna go in? She already showed him that he... Yeah, she already showed him that she has control, right? Even non-verbally. Might have been unconsciously because of her needs, whatever, being met. And then she does this. She is going to go ahead, and if we're talking normally, a normal people, we have a divider, right? For example, you there in chat, we have this divider right here that establishes proximity. What is okay and what is not okay. What happens the moment... Hi, chat. How are you guys doing? Are you guys doing okay? Yeah? Yeah? What does that do to you? Right, chat. Right. Or if I start talking like this, what does this do to you? Right. What does that do to you? You know? What does that do to you? If we're talking about it, like realistically speaking, I'm invading a boundary. No, my straightness. It like literally invades a boundary that's being set, like even like a non-verbal personal boundary, a bubble that all of us have set. She's invading that because she's trying to go out and test Rudy in that thing, see if she can get her needs met. And oof, me puse nervioso, Lugo, no te pongas nervioso, damn. But that's sort of what I'm getting at. Is it for me? This is like beautiful character writing and shows. Yeah, it's forcing intimacy in a way that some people might be completely taken back. Like, what the fuck? It's an intimate zone thing. It's an intimate boundary bubble that we have. Boom. That's already way too close. She already broke that halfway thing, and she's just waiting for engagement here.
私の名前はエリナリーゼ。エリナリーゼドラゴンロード。あなたの父、パウロの元パーティーメンバーですわ。ほう。そして、ロキシーの友人ですの。師匠のですか？師匠は今どこに？それ。
A friend of Roxy's. How much influence can she have on Roxy? Actual question. Actual question. How much influence can she have on Roxy? If it's a spoiler, then don't answer. Because, like, the way that she threw this out there was very, very, very interesting. We don't label things unless we know it's important, right? Establishes why. I'm same party as your father. Friend of Roxy's. You've already established why. I'm getting some weird vibes. I'm getting some weird vibes, man. I'm getting so... I know she traveled with Roxy in season 1. However, we have to remember, like, this is stuff that she could have said before she licked her lips and before it turned into like a weird seduction attempt where she forced intimacy, like literally breaking the barrier of intimacy. So why did she bring up Roxy? I wonder if this. Oof. I wonder if in the future. I don't fucking know. I don't have time to read like anything at all or see anything or whatever. Like I literally only have time to come home and stream and then literally work and school take up a majority of my life at the moment. I wonder if she's gonna influence Roxy at some point in time in a sexual manner, and or to make a decision or an ultimatum. We don't list things unless they're important. I would not list like, my mom, my dad, and masters. What the fuck does like, masters have to do with my mom and my dad? Unless I'm about to bring up something important, or unless there's some sort of element where I'm like, oh yeah, but masters did this, And when we're thinking about aspects like this is where my mind is rolling through, man. Is order ascending or descending? Yeah. She tried to seduce him and he didn't bite, so now she's going, could be. Although she did do the intimacy route, which is, again, I'm wondering why this is. Is this a sense of, I know your father, right? So, closeness. I also know Roxy trying to build in closeness, or is this, I know your father, and I also know Roxy, and there's that exchange there. So, So she's a figure of authority over Roxy in a narrative sense. It could be. Like, intimacy is a very beautiful thing, but what I'm seeing from her is like, it's like a reaction formation, right? Where she's wearing two different masks. One mask that's like, it's like the Hideo Kojima thing, right? Where he told people, oh, you will cry from what happens to quiet or whatever. But why am I feeling this off of Elinalise? I'm actually feeling as though, like, on one aspect, a lot of us go ahead and sexualize her and put her on this thing, but yet in the inside, what I'm seeing is like her actions mainly that way. But I'm feeling a lot of pain. I'm feeling a lot of hurt. I'm like trying to put myself in her shoes, and I'm like, I don't. Yeah. You could say she's a super seducer. What if she's trying to see if he'd file for her charms on Roxy's behalf to test his character? Could be. My mind's just all over the place because, like, again, when it comes to aspects and areas of control, that is a huge segment, and the way that she went ahead and approached this is huge. A character with layers in my Mushoku? No way. No, never. Look at her eyes. Literally. It's like he took the bite. He took the bite, and her eyes literally like cement on him. Look. He pinged hard, and look at her eyes. That is so fucking cool. That's not important now. You've taken the bite. Yep. Literally seduction on many layers. Yep. Hey, yo. Think about it. She got that close to test intimacy, physical intimacy as well. She now she pinged. He didn't. This is what pinging is, boys. This is why it's important to call out your own boundaries as well, boys and girls. Like, if you're not comfortable with something, state it. Because clearly for her, she don't fucking care. She's going to go ahead and override that shit. She's like, I got really... Daisuki da yo. She's getting all close and personal here, guys. She's like, let me lick your earlobe. And if you don't say anything, I'm gonna keep touching you. Like, if he's not setting up his boundaries, it's straight up like she's like, okay, I'm doing in the next step. I'm pinging in harder. This is why a lot of people might have fallen for that, and this is why it's like,
きから何なんですか。もしかして僕のことが好きなんですか。
いい男ですわね。想像以上にびっくりしましたわ。もっと子供だと思っていたんですけれど。
Oh God.
お姉さんもなかなか美しいですよ。
俺はからかわれて
Her teasing won't fluster me. I'm not so virgin. No. Oh no. In comes sold at Rudy. We need to talk. Oh, I can't walk, Rudy. Press F to doubt. Oh God. Oh God, bro. Oh.
てるような DT ではないのだ。
Hey, yo.
マジで
Hey, you know, hey.
雰囲気出てるんだけど。いいの？ズキューンってやっちゃっていいの？
あらあらあら、不格好で可愛らしいですわね。どなたにいただいたの？
Oh no. Oh. F to Rudy, bro. Nah, man. I'm not gonna fall for something some virgin would fall for. Like, what the fuck, dude? Oh, pendejo. Se quedó plantado, güey. She is a man-eater. I saw this happen, man. I saw this happen recently where we were out and about, and essentially, like, you know, it's a loud environment. You're clubbing, you're dancing, you're doing everything. And this really, really cute girl comes up to this guy, and, like, you know, she's trying to talk with them. The music's so loud that they can't hear one another, right? And like she goes in, right? Like, she's going in, like, if you're like goes in, and I think she's trying to tell him, like, you know, it's, for me, it's obvious that she's trying to tell him something in the ear. He goes in for a kiss, right? And she's like, your zippers, or like whatever, like, you know, like some, like, signaling to her, like, his zipper, because, like, next thing you know, he's like zipping up, and she's like, I don't want to fucking kiss you, and, like, she just, like, storms away, and I'm like, ugh, dude, the awkward scenario that, like, all of a sudden this person is that's why, like, me and my partner were like, you know, like, he went in for a full kiss, bro. He was like smooching like 9,000, like prepping himself, just like going in, and like she was like, nah. he's never gonna forget that. That's why I'm throwing this out there. It's like, shit like this happens, miscommunication happens. However, what do you do in a situation like that? You laugh it off, you joke about it. If you take it too seriously, that's gonna be the end of the night for you, right? Adios, mi planeta me necesita. Oof. Oof.
幼馴染ですよ。
幼馴染？エルフの方ですの？
そうですけど、なんでそんなこと聞くんですの？
しまった、映った。
いえ、大したことではないですけれど。
Oh.
ちょっと失礼。お揃いですわね。
Hey, yo.
そうですね。
あら、いけないわ、私ったら。
あんまりからかわないでくださいよ。
私、男をからかったりなんかしませんわ。でも、
Are these all people fucking eavesdropping over here? What the... I see the elf cultural significance, right? Like, that is some very, very, like, my dude, más metichones que, fuck, bro, pinches metichis, like, I'm just gonna be straight up about it, bro. Like, they're straight up some, like, nosy ass, like, individuals. Gonna see if she's taken or not. Yeah. I mean, you have to, right? I wonder how much of this is Elinalise. Thanks so much for subbing, FBI. Appreciate it. Hip hip hooray. Hip hoop swish. And changing her mind after finding the necklace. Well, that is a huge motivator for change. Like, let's be straight up about it. Let's say that you have... Oh, this is going to sound really, really fucking awkward. I know, chat, but I'm going to use this as an example. And I want you guys to go through, right? Like, let's say that you guys have, like, a special, I don't know, a ring type thing, right? And you carry it around with you. and it's like a family heirloom type of a thing. There's this girl that's flirting with you, super hot, and she's like, boots, boots, boots. Also, what's up, Victor? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, imagine this, right? Then all of a sudden, this cute, hot girl comes next to you, and or a guy starts like, yeah, super hot, flirting with you and whatnot. And she's like, wait a minute, I have one too. And you guys were about to make out. What do you do? What do you do? You lost me a super hot girl. Okay, someone that you find attractive doesn't. Exactly. Or how'd you get this? Where are you from? You. All of a sudden, Shackle's weird. I freeze.
ロキシーの友達でもあり続けたいんですの。で、
I like how instantly this was a no-go for her. Wow. Wow.
お揃いですわね。
そうですね。
あら、いけないわ、私ったら。
あんまりからかわないでくださいよ。
私、男をからかったりなんかしませんわ。でも、パウロの娘になるつもりは。
Interesting how now Paul's name matters. Look at what she does, right? When she establishes this, not only does she break the closeness, the physical closeness away from him, but she also goes ahead and starts downplaying what just came through. That does have to mean something major, right? Like, that's why I'm like, look, broke that intimacy, broke that line of, yeah. I wonder if it means something like you've been claimed or something. Like, oh yeah, people in our culture only give these to other people once they've been, like, you know, claimed or something, like a promise ring, or I don't know. Selfie moved fast back in the day. I don't think Selfie would be so bold, or maybe just like, because it makes me wonder, though. It makes me wonder. Bro, like, all these fucking noisy people. Hold on. My dude's literally turning his ear, right, to try and get as much of this conversation as possible. All of these people are, like, angling their heads directly into that. Like, like, bro. Yeah.
で、エリナリーゼさんは僕に何かご用ですか？
ええ、あなたに朗報を届けに参りましたわ。
Good news!
あの日、ゼニスの居場所が判明した。ゼニスはベガリット大陸の中央付近にある迷宮都市ラパンというところにいるらしい。ここから徒歩での移動となると1年以上かかってしまうかもしれない。その上、もうすぐ冬が来る。そのため今しばらくはこの国に滞在することにした。エリナリーゼによると、ゼニスはのんきに迷宮探索をしているらしいし、それに
あなたが急ぐ必要はありませんわ。私たちがパウロの家族の捜索をしていたところ、ロキシーと出会ってパーティーを組みましたの。今頃はパウロたちと合流してベガリット大陸についている頃ですわ。
I'm scared. I am scared. I'm scared for Paul. This story has a wonderful way of showcasing parallels, of showcasing different aspects of, like, you know, of change, of growth, of everything. And I wonder if Paul is, you know, if I was in Paul's position and I heard news of this, am I going with the team or am I going alone? And then through this also comes the expectation that we saw with the whole symbolism being used at the very beginning of the episode, with wind and whatnot rushing the same way that the turning point, we all know what happened in the turning point. I'm scared. I'm scared. So finding mom moves down the priority list. It does. It would probably move down the priority list. I don't know what you would prioritize next. Finding dad, being with family, going to uni. What would it be? What up, Callan? What up? Be with family would be my priority. Yeah, for some. And ED, curing ED could be. But even through that, right? Like, there are many different aspects of your own personal journey. If I know where she is, I would go to her. But that would take a year worth of traveling. Wouldn't you want to go with someone that you know? I'm highlighting aspects like this because for me, grief can change us. Grief can force us to do so many things. Grief can literally cement some cognitive distortion and at the same time make us feel guilty for situations that are out of our control. I'm scared. I am scared for Rudy. I am scared for Paul. I am scared for the whole family. I am literally scared for Norn. I'm scared for Aisha. I'm scared for everyone. I mean, I've been missing her for years. What's another year of traveling? Lilia too, exactly. Lilia too. I'm scared for all of them. Because my thing is, grief changes us, right? If someone's gone missing for a long time, what does that do to you? It's immense different. Imagine this. Masters has gone missing for years. I've already gone through the process of grief, right? My hopes of finding Masters grow dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And there's still hope out there, but it's just growing really, really dim. News comes that they found Masters. What happens to me? I have to start the process of attaching of hope, of grief all over again. What can that do to a person? What if in the process, I don't know, one of my brothers or something in the journey to find Masters passes away? All of a sudden now I have trauma in trying to find Masters. Now there's grief in that segment along with that. What if along the process it turns out it's not even Masters, it's just a clone of Masters? Masters is just a conduit of a higher spiritual being that's able to go and connect with others, and we're fighting some 5D being or something. It's double pain. This is a grief cycle that I'm seeing here, and I'm scared. Sorry, I don't mean to go this deep, right? I know she said his mom, was safe and doing well, but the alien show. But as we're going through this, for me, it's it's okay that she's safe, but through a family structure perspective, this is a lot to take in. It's when Paul found out that Rudius was still alive, we saw what went through his head. We saw all of the emotions. And so I wonder how much guilt Paul is carrying through this. And I'm scared for Paul. I am fucking terrified for Paul because I feel like Paul might just take off. I feel like Paul might literally hear this and go out there immediately. He might hear this and people might be like, yeah, we'll take off in the morning. He might just fucking take off by himself. There's a lot of sensations of guilt. There's a lot of everything. Or he might be the one that's you know what, this is my problem, and try and be the savior and try and be a good guy. And I'm fucking terrified. My heart is if I could put this mic right next to my chest, you would hear it, man. You might hear it. Now here, what do you mean by Masters? Oh God. Oh God.
師匠も捜索に協力してくれていたのですか?
パウロはともかく、ロキシーが向かったならひとまず安心だ。
Hey yo.
ただいまエリナリーゼさん。今日も朝からお盛んですね。
お盛ん？
Bro, she's getting fun. What a banging episodes. What? And she's out in public. She don't care, bro. Oh, guys. Okay, I'm gonna be straight up. Just remember those back shots, brother. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up, guys. Remember a little bit of privacy. Just because you're into things doesn't mean everybody else wants to go ahead and see it. I don't mean to call anybody out. You can have your own kinks. Do whatever you want to go ahead and do. Please don't walk your partner in a dog park. Please don't. I don't want to see it. Other people might not enjoy it. Like, if there are kids and other people there, it might be a little too much, you know. I'm just throwing that out there. You can have how can I watch the stream from here? Soon we'll stare at the end of the stream. It'll go up. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, remember, it is a public space. You can have your kinks and stuff, but at times that can also turn into some really, really rough situations. From episode 13, but having people watching makes it more exciting. Oof. I'm just saying, cleanup. I've experienced some weird stuff a while ago, but this is why I'm throwing it out there: is this hypersexualization. How much would you enjoy this? Why do I feel like her and Papa Geese might be tied somehow? Like, it's weird. I know this is gonna sound really fucking weird, but I have like a weird like psychological intuition or whatever, where, for example, Geese tries to understand people through a psychological basis of mind or whatever, or gain information. And in case you guys don't know, who were some of the earliest therapists before the infamous Freud and whatnot? Like, I'm legit talking before there was even a term for therapy or psychology or whatnot. Who were the bartenders, sex workers, priest, religious aspects? Yeah, there were some of the earliest people that would use interventions. Yeah, religious leaders, so on and so forth. So through that, you can understand a person, right? I guess she can understand the person through sex as much as Geese can understand the person through talking with them and observing them. It's very different observational methods, and I'm wondering why. What are their like? What is her objective in doing this? Geese, we saw the way that he's able to go out and deconstruct Paul in some of the light novel chapter readings that we did on stream. He was able to go ahead and understand other people's motivations and aspects and whatnot. Very, very observational, but had to be around people to think and go ahead. For Elinalise, this is what I'm wondering. People-oriented, able to go ahead and deconstruct people in bed by observing them, knows tactics, so on and so forth. Who did this to her? I legit want to ask her, who hurt you? I know you guys are like, what the fuck are you on about? Who hurt you? Here, I'll showcase this. Hold on. Here we go. So this is a whole aspect of serving, taking, allowing, and accepting. It's like a circle of consent, essentially, is the way that we talk about it, right? Is it for them? Is it for yourself? What are you doing? What are they doing? So, like, the reason why I talk about this is because it's very, very clear, right? It's clear what stays in the aspects of maybe people would like to be deconstructed by Elinalise, maybe, but she's had some negative experience sleeping around with people, like burned bridges. The reason why I'm doing this is what is going on here, right? What is going on here? And I'm looking at the shadow sides here, and it's like, this is what I'm saying. For me, this is screaming that there is something wrong. Something wrong. And I don't mean sex is wrong. Sex is not wrong in any way, shape, or form. But hypersexuality. Yeah. hypersexuality to the point where it feels like a reaction formation or like a curse, the way most people would say it, where you literally have to go out. That is what you need. That is what you have to do. It screams something is wrong. And that's why I'm like, it's so much. I wouldn't even say that this power and control wheel is there as more as it is. It might be like a systematic aspect. I have to bring up the sexuality wheel at some point. Fuck. I need to find it, but I can't find it now. We'll find it some other time. We'll bring it up and we'll talk about it. Because, yeah, man, this is... It's a cold day.
リーゼが大変なビッチであることはこの1週間でよく分かった。何せ気がつけば男を部屋に連れ込んでいる。それもほぼ毎日。
Almost every day.
存在自体が犯罪のような女である。もちろんそれを咎めるつもりはない。むしろ俺もそれに巻き込まれたいと思うところだが。
His face. Oh, bro. My boy. Oh, poor Rudy. His faces are priceless. Oh, dude. He's thirsty, but he can't. That's the face of a man who's heard it all. La cara lo hice todo. Why are we here? Just to suffer. Your face when you're like, yeah, when you're in the middle of the night and you need to go pee, but you're not sure. You're like, I can wait it out. No, you're not sure. Oh, God, dude. But realistically speaking, if you've ever slept in a dorm and your roommate has been going at it nonstop with their partner, you don't establish clear boundaries, you know. Just saying, for those of you guys in uni and college and whatnot, you might expect some faces like this. Just throwing it out there for some of y'all that are going, you know, communication is key. Set up your boundaries, guys. Okay, set up some clear boundaries.
はっきり言おう。ED だ。
I feel like I don't even gotta say I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard. I've talked about this since like season 1. Because that's not the point, right? Like, you know, it was ED, it was Ed all along. Me duele ver esto, pobre Rudy. Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of people like would. Let's be straight up about it. And I think this is a good conversational point to go into. Which is, I'll go ahead and drop it like this. What is ED? Guys. Pikachu face, erectile dysfunction. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull this up, right? Give me 1 second. We're looking up. This is actually a rather new one, and one more. Hold on, I'm bringing this up because I think this is important. Ba 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 ba. Here we go. Pretty good. Okay. So the reason why I'm throwing this out there is when it comes to this, right? This is by the NCBI, otherwise known as the National Library of Medicine. Really, really good in case you guys ever want to go ahead and get any form of actual citations, research for academics, whatever. This is what a lot of psychologists and good therapists will go ahead and use to go ahead and like keep updated, right? When it comes to ED, a lot of people think, oh, he just can't get hard, which isn't true. Right? A lot of times it can be, you can get hard, you can jerk off, that's a-okay. You can maybe even like, you know, please yourself. That's fine. However, ED comes in many shapes and sizes. Sometimes it can be, you can't perform with the partner, but you can perform by yourself. You can't perform with a partner or by yourself. Happens randomly where you wake up and everything's out there. ED comes in many different, like, there are various stages, various aspects of ED in there, which is why it talks about PMD, which is right there, and various other things out there, right? Is this a case of manifestation of sexual / it is. It is. When sexual trauma happens, specifically when it comes to like any form of trauma. For example, I'm very open about it. I had a relationship a long time ago. They had certain things that they expected during our, intimacy aspects that affected me in some way, shape, or form, right? And this was back then, and I didn't know why I could go hours and hours and like literally not be able to come, right? I'm just being straight up laying it out there. And it came from an aspect like this. It came because there were certain things that needed to happen, psychologically speaking, whether it was self-love, whatever, for me to actually be able to go and perform. So it was like a diminished or a smaller aspect of ED in that case, right? Everything's a spectrum. So there might be some smaller cases to extreme cases. This is why I love showcasing aspects like this, because as it states here, sexual dysfunction occurs both in men and women. It impacts his response cycles, desire, arousal, or orgasm. Desire, arousal, or orgasm. It can also be due to pain, physiological or psychological components, clinical findings, a lack of interest, yep, and so on and so forth. You guys can read all about it here. Quite literally, the title is just Male Sexual Dysfunction, published August 20th, 2022. Quite new in terms of study. So if we go on to the next one, recent advances in understanding and managing ED. Where's it at? Let's go all the way to the conclusion section here. Developments including lifestyle modifications, oral medication injections, prostheses, and of course management. One of the big things that it's not showing in here is also like forms of therapy. One of the biggest things that I've seen that have helped a lot is intended offer results. No, they pump it. They essentially start pumping aspects through that. Like I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because it might break TOS, but when it comes to situations like this, and I want to be very upfront, you got to be very open about communication. Otherwise, you might start getting frustrated with yourself, and these frustrations might turn into unhealthy mechanisms of literally interacting with the world and with the environment around you. And all of a sudden, this anger that you have onto yourself might go out on your friends, might go out on everybody else, and the frustration might keep building. So be very open. Go see a doctor. Remember, see a therapist. Seek out professional help. Right. This is like this community, like Discord, everything, so on and so forth, is there as a form of a support network in case you need one. Right. It is not a replacement for therapy. Not a replacement for actually having like a good mental health care team behind you. If you guys find yourself like identifying with any major aspects, do seek out help, guys. It is like, you can manage it. You can do a lot of things. Hi, XRC. It was great. Thank you for asking, man. I appreciate it. But I hope that helps in understanding it and like just realizing, hey, ED is pretty common enough to have an actual discussion over it.
もう諦めた。今はもう誰かとどうにかなろうなんて思っちゃいない。好きな相手はいない。裏切られるぐらいなら最初から見て触ってめでるだけでいい。それ以上のことは望まなくていい。
But I also think that like if I was doing therapy for Rudy, one of the big things that I would we'd have a discussion about is what does sex mean for him, right? And by this I mean what you mentioned before about being broken. I mean, there's many areas of that, right? No, not yet, XRC, not yet. We're 10 minutes in. We're 10 minutes in, mate. The aspect that I'm trying to highlight here is, for example, if I were to ask you guys, what is sex for you? Very upfront. What is sex for you? Because here's the thing. Unknown. Something emotional. Okay. Okay. An end goal. Not sure if he sees the connection, intimacy, connection. It's kind of the ultimate bond to Rudy. A form of emotional and physical pleasure I have yet to experience. A form of... So let me talk about it. Let me talk about this with you. Do you always have to finish to have sex? To feel fulfilled in sex? Very serious conversation we're having now. The pinnacle of short-term pleasure? I guess not, no. So if Rudy was... Yeah. So an aspect of this, right? And this is a big aspect of what defining sex is, right? And this is a big aspect of having these conversations, JP, right? It's like, for example, if Rudy was here, because I feel like this is a portion where this emotional connection, and even if we're gonna be straight up about it, let's call it how it is. There are a lot of hentai dojin type shit. How does a lot of hentai dojin end? Let's be straight up about it. 100%. I know we're going there. We're going in fucking deep. If Eartheus was reading this shit nonstop, how does a lot of dojin hentai end? What is the climactic end? Nothing. Straight up. The famous pie of cream. Splurts everywhere. Yep. And that is how you form connections, right? Think about it this way. This is what the Eartheus was reading all along. This is what Eartheus feels connection is, right? So, and for a lot of people, like a lot of teenagers and a lot of adults still think this way, right? So this is where you start talking about bringing pleasure to your partner through other means, and in a way trying to find pleasure for yourself through it as well, right? Having conversations through this, having conversations that, like, what you see on porn or dojin or whatever ain't the truth necessarily, right? And having open and honest conversations that, hey, you can't x-ray into someone's belly and see everything go on in there, like, you know. I'm just gonna be straight up about it, like, you know, you gotta have open conversations about shit like this, because there is a lot of misconception. There is a lot of, like, people or individuals who think that is the end goal of sex. Sex can be for connection. Sex can be for pleasure. Sex can be for fun. Sex can literally be because you've both had bad days and you guys, it sounds unhealthy, but you guys can fuck it out. Sex can be for 101 different things. Sex can be like, you know what? I'm going to tease the living fuck out of you and I'm going to make you come 100 times tonight. I don't want to come once. Like, I really don't feel like nutting or coming or whatever once. I want you to have the most amount of pleasure tonight. Sex can be whatever you define it to be, right? However, a lot of the points of especially self-centered pain, not even self-centered pain, but just pain in general, comes when we put ourselves in a position of, I am guilty. I must have failed as an individual, therefore I am feeling this. I can't even get it up, so therefore am I a man. You see all of these, like, cognitive distortions that are being played by Rudius? That's huge. For me, I would be straight up with Rudy and I would tell him, we need to find what home looks like for you. What is home? Who is home? Who could make home for you? Who can, like, hug you and brush your hair and tell you it's okay? Who can literally make you feel secure in yourself for you to be able to go ahead and be there with them in the moment? Because what I seen is like a hurt kid. Hey, yo, I went there stayed for the feels. But who won't run away in the next morning, right? Is that he could have sex with her even if he couldn't? Yeah, J-Tree, absolutely. Well, that is an aspect in it. It's like you might, because we're hearing all these desires, all these things pop up. But again, it's about how he defines sex for himself. Because if he wanted to, he could go finger blast 9,000, finger God of the century, whatever he wanted to go ahead and do, and be like, hey, and then walk away, right? Might not meet her definition of sex, or, like, you know, whatever she thought she was going to get. But he could go do whatever he needs to go ahead and, like, feel accomplished and or get that desire met. However, for him, if we've noticed, it's about the whole, you know, experience. And he can't allow himself past that barrier. Exactly not. This is why it's beautiful. And the way that this story is being told, the way that Mushoku Tensei is showcasing this is so fucking beautiful. And this is why I'll ask it to the YouTube comments as well. What does sex look like for you? What does it mean for you? Oh man, that was I hope that makes sense. I hope that like, and it brings in aspects of sexual education, sexual psychoeducation in it as well. Because like, I've had full on adults tell me like, oh, but this isn't normal, or like, is this normal? Is this not normal? Or what is this? What is that? And it's like, bro, we gotta have a straight up conversation about it. Like, you know, Rudy is both afraid to have sex, but he's way afraid of intimacy. Yeah. And what do we do when we're afraid of stuff? What do we do when we're afraid that we might get called out or whatever? We start shutting down, man. We run, you know, freeze, fight, you know, all the F's. Well, 20 years of porn excuses ideas. Exactly, combat. Exactly. I am not a fucking wizard, bro. I just called it off of the fucking power dynamics that were being presented earlier. Look at that face, though. The face, though. Oh God. Oh, bro. That face is so good. He's had his soul sucked out of him, man. He's trying to walk home, man. He's like, oh. See, Rudy, there's other things out there like pegging. It's National Women's Day, Rudy. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. All of your guys' face, really, Ed? Oh no! Oh no!
俺は知っている。ゾルのパーティーメンバーの男、他数名はすでにエリナリーゼに食われてしまっている。
エリナリーゼさん、
なんですの？
好き勝手食い散らかすのはいいですけど、後始末は自分でしてくださいよ。
もちろんですわ。
おいおい、何の話だ？
What did he say? Wait, what did he say? Wait. Don't fuck with the party dynamics, like, bro. I mean, yeah.
おいおい、何の話だ？
なんでもありませんわ。さあ、ご飯を食べますわよ。
ひどい女だ。
Legitimately, yeah. Like, she can literally be like one of the biggest disruptor to parties if you're like her. Unless you make it like a party team goal with her, I guess. But even then, that's like that depends on your comfortability level and what you're into. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm not even gonna go into the dynamics of that. But I mean, if your party's into it, sure, right? Yeah, I'm not saying anything, J Tree. I'm not saying anything. Oh God, and that's a different type of party. Yeah.
彼女はロクシーと共にマタイ陸を縦断し、 中央大陸まで渡りパウロの家族を探してくれた。ロキシーと共にありがたい話だ。くそ、全然羨ましくなってないんだからね。エリナ・リーゼはこの逆ハーレム状態でどうやってトラブルを回避するのだろうか。俺に矛先が来ないようにしてくれればいいんだが。
じゃあこれ約束のお金ですわ。
いや、すまないな。あんな気持ちいいことしても。
And they're getting paid? Wait a minute. And they're getting paid? Hold on. What kind of a quest is this, bro? I'm going isekai, bros. I'm in. Wait a minute, bro. Is she like sucking something out of them and then like paying them for it? I'm so confused or interested. Like what?
その代わり、私に本気になっちゃいけませんわよ。
なるほどな。逆売春だったわけだ。それなら問題にならない。いや、ダメだろう。
I'm paying you. I'm paying you to be able to go ahead and like and sleep with you. You sleep with me. Oh fuck, dude. The word you're looking for is invested. Pay the attachments away. Yeah, I mean, if it works, right, Pilot? I think she pays him to keep boundaries purely sexual. It could be. I mean, for a lot of people that works, right? Because the moment that you bring money into a relationship, all of a sudden it's not about emotions, right? So she does this in a big way to keep control. Yeah.
Oh, どうも。
ルーデウス・グレイラット様、はじめまして。ラノア魔法大学で教頭をしておりますジーナスと。
I like how their name was Genius. I am Genius. The vice principal. Just the way that is worded, like the name just cracks me up.
申します。ラノア魔法大学。ロキシーの母校じゃないか。今節、ルーデウス様の雷鳴、泥沼のルーデウスはラノア王国にも響き渡っています。調べてみると、なんと水王級魔術師ロキシーの弟子というではありませんか。
Metiche. Super nosy fucking Elinalise. But why? Like in I think the author has done something absolutely beautiful here. That, like, taking a step back, if we were to like delve 300 years into the future of this show, or 100 years into the future of this show, Mushoku Tensei, don't get me wrong, feels like it's its own complete journey, but I feel like the world is still active, you know? Like, the reason why I'm saying this is because all of these characters have motives and like conversations, and the depth that it has makes it feel as though this was an actual breathing, living world. So it feels as though like Mushoku Tensei in itself, it has like ramifications and impacts. Like I feel like Rudius would be like, you know, in Skyrim when you pick up a book, or like in the older scrolls where you pick up a book and you're reading stuff, and like it's like, oh, the hero of this, right? And it's like, I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like that's how like a story that we're being told. We're being told a story of a world that's yet to come, or a story of a world like here. I don't even know. Yeah. It's yo siempre digo que Mushoku trata sobre la vida misma. Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's number one thing is Mushoku Tensei feels like a complete, like, you know, journey in of itself. But as I'm reading this, I'm like, whoa, this just feels like ramifications through ramifications through ramifications in a big aspect.
らしい技術をさらに磨くおつもりはありませんか？ ラノア魔法大学はあなたを特別生として招く用意があります。
特別生
特別生とは授業免除かつ学費免除。
They're excused from lessons and tuition. So what the fuck are you? You're excused from lessons and tuition. Selfie. Selfie, making friends, the social aspect, coping skills, try and find a cure for the universe, find out what the fuck. I'm gonna be throwing out just random fucking shit, right? Spend time working on chantless magic. What allows a person to do chantless voodoo, hoodoo magic? Start creating the atomic bomb. What else? Fit Senpai is there. Start finding a cure for yourself. To start finding out about like what really happened when you were like teleported into the demon continent. You can throw 101 things out there. I am atomic. Oppenheimer in another world. Okay, so you can use your libraries and facilities to conduct research. That's actually pretty interesting. That is actually really interesting, because for me, all of a sudden, this is throwing out a lot of different possibilities for Rudy himself, and for personal growth in that manner. I threw all of that out as just a silly fucking example, but now that this is getting cemented, this is turning into reality, and now I'm interested. Now I feel invested in this school arc. I don't like school arcs. I'm gonna be straight up with you. Usually when an anime goes like, I will be Hokage, and then they're in fucking school, and like nothing really interesting is happening in school, it's like, all right, bro, like, you had me the first half. Or where all of a sudden they have this amazing world building, right? They're gonna fight the demon lord, and all of a sudden, but I have to go to school. Bro, you're in your fucking 30s. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, this is believable. This is an aspect where all of a sudden now has my curiosity, because this is not showcasing like, oh yeah, you're gonna go ahead and be in the lessons. It's saying like, hey, conduct research. Do any of you guys know what your doctorates or doctoral work usually is? What is the difference between someone getting their doctorates or doctoral work versus someone doing their master's? Anybody know? I have a PhD, Mr. Magenta, yep. Researching, conducting research, being able to go ahead and literally cement yourself in a specialization. I'm going to throw this out there. In psychology, there are different elements, right? There's a PhD and there's a PsyD. A PhD is done mostly just for research in terms of like, you have 3,000 participants and you will go ahead and do a qualitative study or a quantitative study on whatever. A PsyD is more clinical work where you're working with individuals hands-on and trying to see what interventions work, and it's still specialization on those intervention methods or on the style of yourself. So when I'm looking at this and I'm like, he will literally just be conducting research as they see fit, this seems like a specialization in for Rudy, in for himself. He's trying to make something, like essentially coming, maybe testing new theories or new whatever. Where is this going to go for him, and how is this going to land him compared to everybody else? Because coming in as a special student, I imagine is going to come with a lot of like stigma and expectations placed on him that he may not even know, that he may not even want. And oof, man. Producing new knowledge, advancing that field, yeah.
よくわからんところから推薦状が来て、よくわからんところへと推薦してくれると言われてもな。この2年の活躍が認められたことは素直に嬉しいし、魔術に関してはやや行き詰まりを感じているから興味はあるが、真偽については調べる必要があるか。
お待たせいたしました。
ああ、特別生な。いたいた。
Thanks so much for the follow, Tantrico. Appreciate it.
まあ出身って言っても5年で退学したけどな。魔法大学はな、お前みたいな変な魔術使うやつとかすげえ魔力持ってるやつに率先して声かけてんだよ。そいつが将来名を上げると大学の宣伝にもなるだろう。
何にせよ、無影響魔術の情報から俺を勧誘したというのなら、まるっきり詐欺というわけではなさそうだ。
っていうか泥沼、お前学校行ってなかったんだな。
家庭教師ですよ。
結構裕福な出だったんだな。
名前の通り、アスラの上級貴族の傍流ですよ。
すまん、お前下の名前なんだっけか。
グレイラットです。ルーデウス・グレイラット。
グレイラットってアスラの地方領主だっけか。なんでこんなところでソロの冒険者なんかやってるんだ。
そりゃあれ、
すまん。まあ
Ooh. Your journey is done here, man. What are you? Yeah, that's a big trigger moment, but it's also like, let's be real. Why was he here in the first place? Let's talk about this, right? Why was he here in the first place? To try and spread his name to find his mom. His mom has been found. All of these emotions that he's been scapegoating to, I need to find my mom. I need to go ahead and, your mom's been found. Where do these emotions go? Someone triggers it, everything comes flooding out again. It's like one of those moments where you're finally allowed a moment of relief, and you didn't even know you had a critical moment. And some of the best aspects that I can go and bring this on is like, if you've ever lost a family member, right? And you thought you were healing and whatnot, then someone mentioned something very specific that reminds you of them, and all these feelings start welling up and coming through. And maybe you were doing something in honor of them, and you're like, wait, what am I doing? You know? I don't know what the mods are on, DXD. That's not me, man. My hands are up here. That's all I gotta say, man. I don't know what the mods are doing, brother, but it ain't me. I'm talking, brother. But that's where I'm like, this is, it's hard hitting, man, and it's a lot to take in for Rudy.
せっかく優遇してくれるって言うんだから、話だけでも聞いてみたらいいんじゃねえのかな。
そういえば、エリスのところに家庭教師に行ったのも、魔法大学への入学金を貯める必要があったからだ。シルフィーと一緒に学校に行くというのが最初の目標だったっけか。シルフィー、今どこで何をしているんだろう。無事でいてほしい。
Aww.
そうですわ。パウロなんかと一緒にいるより学校にでも通った方があなたのためですわよ。
いや、一家離散なんでまずは集合でしょうよ。
パウロたちだってどうせアスラまで戻ってくるんですのよ。その時にちょっと旅に出て顔を合わせればいいじゃありませんの。
シルフィー、今どこで何をしているんだろう。無事でいてほしい。
そうですわ。パウロなんかと一緒にいるより学校にでも通った方があなたのためですわよ。
My analysis on Elinalise is growing, and I don't mean to be over dramatic on this. And so I don't even think it's just on men, but like on everyone. Her ideas can be a bit pushy if it's not corrected. She overheard this, she stepped in. She offered her opinion without it being asked. And I know we're saying, oh, they might be on friendly terms or whatever, but I find this interesting. I find it super fucking interesting. Because for me, it's like, what if it's... Yeah, she might hate Paul, right? But like, what I'm getting at is, what if there's someone, say that like, in a very emotionally complicated place, right? A character or whatnot. And she's like, starts like without even asking, she's overhearing this and she gives the solution to this character, her what she thinks is the solution, and they do something that now makes like person A, B, or C feel responsible for. It's interesting that she's taking this agency, like she's giving him a choice, right? Like she's telling him, you better be off going to school. It's not like, so what do you think? Would you rather go off with ball? She's not allowing this open-ended. When we ask open-ended questions, we allow our brain to take these possibilities. Well, the way that she's saying it is very statement-like, you'd better be off. You'd better be off doing this. She might hate Paul because of whatever may have happened. We're not even going to go into that. But as I'm going through that, like I don't know what may have happened. It's probably because it's Paul. Probably another reason, if we're going to throw it out that way. But if we're going into that, like I'm like, it's like she's walking him, and this is not her doing it on purpose. Of course not. Say that you guys are the road back, right? I'm going to go meet with my family, and then we're going to go save Seneth. It's like she's like, and now there's this wall. And now you have to go all the way around. But what if I go over there, right? What if I start peeking my head over here, and you guys aren't there anymore? What if by the time I peek my head over, everyone's already left? What if by the time I go all the way around, what will that do to me? You see where I'm getting at? Sometimes, and this is why I say our words are important. The way that we speak is important. The way that we use, like, instead of like, you know, fully just, this is what you have to do. It's like, do you want me to be honest with you? Would you like my opinion on it? And I know that there's a sense of conformity in here, but sometimes our words can impact the whole person's trajectory in life. Hearing this, I don't know, man. I'm like Elinalise, man. I we would have some long talks, some long talks.
パウロたちだってどうせアスラまで戻ってくるんですのよ。その時にちょっと旅に出て顔を合わせればいいじゃありませんの。
っていうか、エリナリーゼさんが父様に会いたくないだけでしょ。
そうですわよ。
よほどパウロのことが嫌いらしい。自分の能力を上げるのは大事だが、今はそれを最優先にはできない。今回は魔法大学への入学は見送らせてもらおう。
Are we seeing the fucking man god again? Oh no.
2年ぶりだな。
久しぶり。
この夢も久しぶりだが、昔のような嫌な感じがしないな。
君が順応してきたんじゃないかい？
どうだろうな。そんなことより、ゼニスを探してる最中、何度か呼びかけたんだぜ。一度くらい現れてくれてもよかったんじゃねえのか？
僕にもいろいろあるのさ。
そうかよ。ま、結果的に見つかったからいいけどな。
He's evil, isn't he? He's not necessarily a good force, I guess. I should go ahead and clarify that. I've always had a weird feeling for him. But now the more that I'm getting through this, the more I'm like, let's find out what he has to say. But I've always had my reservation from him in season 1. You guys can check out all of the talks that I've talked about him in terms of power dynamics, how he presents himself, how I don't trust him, the overt nature and whatnot. But there's also something else.
よかったね。お母さんが見つかって。
ああ、まさかロキシーが探してくれてたとは思わなかったよ。
彼女は働き者だからね。
ほんと自慢の師匠だよ。彼女もベガリット大陸に向かうみたいだし、早く会いたいね。
いいのかい？自慢の師匠に今の情けない君の姿を見せても。
え？
だってそうじゃないか？ エリスには逃げられて、せっかくサラってこといい仲になれそうなのに、あっちも役立たずで、魔術の腕も多少は上達したとはいえ、数年前とほとんど変わらない。剣術だって毎日素振りするだけで別に強くなったわけじゃない。体だけはたくましくなったけど、自信持って言えるのかい？あなたの弟子は立派に成長しましたって。
言いたい放題言ってくれるじゃないか。つまり何が言いたいんだ？
今こそ自分を鍛えるべきじゃないか？魔法大学に行けば雑多な冒険。
I would do the exact opposite of what he's looking into. Roxy probably wouldn't judge you for not studying magic, or she'd probably be more understanding of the fact that you had to go ahead and survive. My man is playing into every single one of your insecurities because he has a plan out for something. Probably a major death or something is coming. The way that he's trying to go ahead and pick on your insecurities and the fact that you yourself have changed as an individual and see yourself as Rudius, and yet he still displays you as Earthius, as your shadow self, implies to me that this man is a very insecure god. This is a god that is very scared of what may come if you go off by yourself and you go off the rails. And he's even poking fun at the fact that your little man has stopped working, despite the fact that he knows exactly why. He has had all this information to go ahead and help you out in every single shape and or form, and yet he goes ahead and restrains information in, and every single time that he does give advice, it always goes south. He's nudging things around to take him into a certain direction as well. And for me, it's not pleasing. For me, it means that this man is very insecure about something that may come. Maybe he doesn't want Rudius pairing up with someone or meeting someone or something along those manners. Maybe he's trying to go ahead and keep the world going in a certain order in which he has control and or power. And Rudius might be a big disruption to that because he has not presented himself to any other character. And the only other character that knows or quickly reacts to the essence of what man god is Orsted. So my mind is running through this, and I'm like, he has his own agenda, and I feel like this is a cyclical nature that he's probably run through 1,001 times. This is not someone that can be trusted. This is not someone that can be trusted in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I'm sorry. I deal with a lot of narcissistic individuals in therapy as well. And oftentimes the way that they talk, the way that they present some information, you might even find some narcissistic individuals trying to study psychology, or the minimum requirements of psychology to understand others better and how they can go ahead and turn that into stories about themselves or some weird thing like that, or manipulative tendencies or whatever, right? But when it comes to him in particular, the way he's phrasing this, the way he's attacking and pinging him and making him feel less than, the way that he's offered advice in the past, the way that he still walks above, the way that he doesn't really show compassion, the way that he kind of calls Rudy the Via is not reassuring voice. Yeah. What happened to the other gods? What happened to the rest of this world? You guys talk about this being a six-faced world or whatever, kind of like a cube. What happened to the other sides of the world? This is already making me completely mistrust this man god. My brain is yelling run. Any decision that the spoilers, good question. Why is Orsted out and about, but man god is only in his head? Yeah. I have an even better question. I don't know how to ask this. Are all the different species of people that we've encountered, were they supposed to represent a different world in this environment? Whether it was the elves, the demons from the demon continent, the dwarves, humanity. I don't know what the other two are, but you guys kind of understand what I'm like. It feels very weird. Beast folk, yeah. No. Yeah, no spoilers. I'm just thinking, like, it feels very weird that we have someone with absolute power that only presents himself, or that we've only seen present themselves to Rudy and to Orsted. And that one presents himself in his head. Sorry, yeah.
冒険者とは比べ物にならないくらいいろんなことを学べるはずさ。
なんだそりゃ、どこの塾講師だ。あ、ずいぶんさらっと言ったが、それはあれか、いつもの助言なのか。
うん、まあそんな感じかな。
相変わらず遠回しでうさんくさいやつだな、お前は。
そうかい。でも今回は僕の言うことを聞いておいた方がいいよ。ベガリット大陸に行くと君は必ず後悔することになるからね。
後悔？なんでだ？
それは言えない。
ああ、そう。ま、お前が必要なことを隠匿するのは今に始ま。
Hold the fuck on. He'll regret it or you'll regret it. Orsted said when he first saw Rudius, this is like, you know, hold on, we're backing it the fuck up. Hold on. Nah, some fucking fishy shit is happening here. Some fishy shit is happening here. Hold on. I know he says Rudy will regret it, but I don't think it's Rudy. I think he's saying this. Rudy was the only one that was able to move when Orsted was present, right? Clearly because of Orsted's power or whatever. Only individual with black hair that we've seen. Hold on. I know. We're going back a little bit. Hold on. Orsted did not know who Rudius was. Rudius is a completely extra fucking player being thrown into this world. Therefore, Rudius is an existential threat to everyone. He's an anomaly. This came to mind when we're going through all of this, which I'm like, almost fucking immediately, my man called out who they were, which for me makes me believe that there's some sort of like time fuckery, dimension fuckery, something happening. And Rudius has been thrown into this mess. I think the man god is scared. I think the man god is trying to go ahead and get Rudy as far away from situation as possible, because Rudius is an X factor. Rudius is a factor where he might go ahead and bring in total change and maybe break the chains away from this man god. It will even take it a step further. What if this is a cycle now with Rudius in it, and say that he grows old and whatnot? I would even question this. Rudius, if you could ask your younger self something, if you could give your younger self some piece of advice, if I could take you from, say, like you grow into an old ass man, like you're 86, if I could take the 86-year-old version of you and throw you into the here and now, what would you say to yourself? Because I have a weird fucking feeling this man god is afraid of change, and you can tell off of the way that he's going ahead and criticizing Rudy. That's why I'm seeing this and I'm understanding more and more the differences in the pictures of like power dynamics that are being set here. This man god is literally a child god. He's a fucking child. He's a man-child. It's the man-child god. Because he clearly is acting like a fucking child who's afraid of what may come, and he's afraid of change. He's saying you'll regret it, but I have a feeling that he's doing this on the purpose to try and keep Rudius under control. Why? Because more than likely he's going to try and hurt Rudius in some other way. Sorry. I don't mean to well, oh god, I don't mean to turn this into like all weird, like existential whatever. I'm just going off of what's already been established, and for me this is blowing my mind, because I've seen people talk to their partners like this, where it's like, you have to do this but you can't do that. What does that scream? It screams insecurity. It screams that there's some sort of trauma or something there, some sort of power and control cycle that you're trying to go ahead and keep. Why, Ed? Why do you bring this up? I need a recipe, bro. Why do I bring this up? What is Hitogami using? What is this man-child god using? Let's be straight up. He only appears to Rudy, which is already isolating in of itself. Minimizing, denying, and blaming. Used him when he was a child. Emotional abuse, intimidation. He is the man god. Coercion and threats. You will regret it if you go to Birgit. Using privilege. He is a god. My man literally is a man-child who has a whole system of power and control and wants to take that power and control away from Rudius because he's scared. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, guys. I hope I'm not the only one that's fucking seeing this, because right now I'm seeing all of this from this man-child. Like, that's all I gotta say. I'm seeing all of this from this man-child god. Like, emotional abuse can literally come from putting him down. Oh yeah, you couldn't even get up your little pecker. What would they think of you? That you're like, that you haven't grown? That you're a waste of space? You know, all of the things that he was telling him right now, that's abuse. That's emotional abuse. He's now man-child god. I feel like my man is scared. This man-child god is probably scared of Rudius coming up with like a weird scheme or doing something that takes his power and control away from him. I feel like man-child god is genuinely terrified of Rudius being this weird factor that has come into his world that can take away his power and control. And this is why we're getting this weird lineage where he is pushing him down a certain direction and telling him if he goes the other way, there's going to be reprimands. There's going to be stuff that he doesn't like. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. Because time and time again, when he's been helpful, it's hurt Rudy. So, for example, guys, can you reference other episodes, specific times where he has appeared? It's like he's pushed him in a certain way, yeah. Do you think there is a reason that he only appeared to Rudy after CP1? The pet job, yeah. He pushed him into Kirishika, yep. There's so many aspects in here that I'm like... Like a guided attack, if he knows where you're coming from, he can block it. Yeah, exactly right. If I'm guiding you into a specific way of thinking, of attack, of whatever, then I can go ahead and prepare for what's coming. I can go ahead and get you distracted. I can follow, like, let's say that I'm following a natural sequence of events, right? I'm following A through Z. And I know that in every storyline, Masters gets married to Kodorism, Jesus starts his own business, whatever. All of a sudden, Walking Dead comes in here and he's an X Factor. And Walking Dead is like starting to put weird tension in between Masters and Kodorism. What am I going to go ahead and do? Walking Dead, I'm going to go ahead and grab you and I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you can't be around them or else there's going to be some serious reprimands. Because this needs to follow this same cycle for me to have control. I need this control. I know how to run this world. I've run this world. Do you know how to run this world? I am the man-child god. You know what I'm pointing out here is like whenever this character is introduced, his voice, the way that he's even like hyper presenting and being so over the top or whatever, makes me so interested. And I know that there's been like, he's like, oh, that's because you still see yourself. You're telling me that like, especially for Rudy, still seeing himself as Eartheus, an individual with like essentially like insane power inside of a mind space can't control the way a person looks, yet you have him looking that way so that you can position yourself in a position of power. Now that Rudius has grown, and Rudius is 15, and he's starting to look like a man now, fully built up, you still have him as Eartheus because it's easier for you to present yourself and hit all of these self-esteem aspects. I'm looking at this and I'm like, So you say that's on him. That's his mental image. Let's talk about mental image. Because clearly he says earlier in the episode when he's working out, he's starting to like the way he looks. So his mental image has completely shifted. So therefore, this is Man God pushing this on him. And even if it is his own mental image, why is Man God not pushing, if he's powerful, pushing Rudius, Eartheus into Rudius? And is that Rudy or actually the Man God that's controlling that? It's really interesting, because if it's the man-child God that I'm thinking, then he might say, oh yeah, this is your mental health image or whatever. But in reality, it's man-child God that is forcing this image for him to have validity and control. Yeah. I'm like, man-child God is fucked up, dude. Sorry, I don't mean to go this fucking... sorry, I apologize, because I feel like my mind just goes... when I'm observing these scenes, and I'm like, holy shit, dude. Man, like, sorry. It could be either way. Yeah. YouTube. I don't know, guys. Did the Hitogami, the man-child God explanation make sense to you? Or was it like, is it like all over the place? Because for me, it's like, I'm seeing this and I'm like, this man has control over this is supposed to be a man-child God, right? He's supposed to be a god. And yet he's still like, he's saying this is your own mental image, yet this is the man-child God space. Okay, cool. Sorry. My mind's just like immediately like, you were cooking into the, I don't even know. That's the thing is, I can already tell people are going to be like, he's read the light novel. Bro, I haven't had it. I literally, the novel chapters that I read on stream have all been curated by Zictor and like a lot of other individuals that are well known in the Mushoku Tensei community. Like, I don't have time for absolutely nothing. And in fact, we always have SB and Nat who know what, like, I do know what I don't know, so on and so forth, like just based off of the questioning. Everything I do is literally based off of psychology. And if you guys are like, he's predicting ahead, that's not my job, man. My main thing is to look at these characters, analyze their behaviors, their behavioral patterns, talk about what's happening, what seems weird, like even psychologically speaking, Yeah, for God, he's always looking mad limited. Siempre más dudas que certezas. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. And even more watching it again and again. Yep. Pretty good. I'm seeing Hitogami visions now. Oh, God. Anyway, let's back it up just a little bit. Damn, we really talked for a good bit. All right, we're backing up. So here's my first doubt. Why does he come to Rudy when he has to make this decision? He could, like, it. Why is this presumed behavior is called evil? I'm not going to call it evil. I'm just going to call it negative based behavior, right? Yeah, I know there's no sound because I literally just click press and stop, right? So the reason why I call it negative based behavior is because this is behavior done through a manipulation aspect. Manipulation in and of itself is not negative or positive. We all manipulate our environment or surroundings to get what we want. However, the way that he's doing it feels very forced, and it feels like a forced manipulation pattern to get a need made that might impact our character, right? Not based behaviors. Is it toxic? Yeah. It's 2 years. He didn't interfere throughout any of his decisions until the moment that he has to decide between going home with his family to try and reunite and going to school. Think about that. The moment that this major aspect pops up, he's like, nope. 2 years later, suddenly he reappears for this decision. He didn't appear when Eris dumped him and he's left heartbroken. Why? Because that's probably a part of his plan. He didn't reappear, or that probably follows the natural order of cycle. He didn't reappear when this and that or whatever happened. He only appeared whenever something might stray away from his power and control cycle. How would that have affected him, right? Almost like he only shows up when Rudy might do something. Exactly 50 rings. If he cared, why didn't he help him when Rudy wanted to go to... Yeah, XRC, you got it. That's sort of what I was going to... You fucking got it, man. If Man God really cared about Rudy, why didn't he appear when Rudy was trying to go into the void? And chat goes silent. I mean, if Man God truly cares about Rudy as much as he says he does and appears and everything, you're telling me that he was okay with Rudy? Oh, that's fair. All of Man God's advice has always... No, it has not. Blade Dragon, you're talking to me about a benefit, like an omnipresent, omniscient being here who only interferes when Rudy's about to make a decision for himself and pushes him in a direction that sort of is following a natural trend of control for himself. Because otherwise, why hasn't he appeared when Rudy was trying to go ahead and like hurt himself? Well, I'm not saying omniscient, but you know what I'm saying, like a really powerful god like this. Man God says he has a certain window of power of windows of opportunity to show up. Okay, if that's the case, why is he showing up now, not before? Why is it the moment that Rudy's just about to make this big decision that, like, all of a sudden he's like, nope, but not when he's about to die? Thing is he benefiting Rudy? I mean, he's stopping Rudy mighty convenient explanation. He's stopping Rudy from seeing family, and Roxy would also probably be some... Exactly. And the Mind God preventing Rudy and Roxy to see each other. All the rules are by his word, inconvenient for him. I feel like all of us are like against Man God Child now. We're all like, Man Child God must go. Man Child God has a lot of flaws in what he's stating, what he's doing, and how he's presenting. Man-child God is now named X, and we must now address him as X. You must be subscribed to X Blue in order to go ahead and have a conversation with with Man-child God. Oh God. Okay, hold on, man.
2年ぶりだな。
久しぶり。
この夢も久しぶりだが、昔のような嫌な感じはしないな。
君が順応してきたんじゃないかい
2年ぶりだな。
久しぶり。
It's been 2 years. No explanation? Yes. No explanation? Yes. Think about that. My man is not even trying to say, I've tried before, windows were closed. Just, yes. Oh, man. I how would it kill a man god? How would I kill a man god? Hold on. How do you kill the man-child god like this? Chat. Leave it to someone better. Is that weird to say? Why? Orset seems to be, put Sol on him. Will people... What pseudo is it? Nuke him? I am so... sorry, my mind is going 170 miles an hour at the moment. And I'm like, written by Ed. Yeah, to kill a man god. This is going to sound kooky. This is going to sound weird. This is straight up weird. straight up weird. Man, why do we always go this? Okay. This is usually Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory for how stuff works in the world, for what impacts us, right? What impacts us and how we impact the world. So tell me this, right? Usually we can never interact with the chrono system because time is something that we can't change. The man-child god is going to represent the white spots that we see out here. Man-child god is this white spots. Why the fuck is someone in, like, is this white spot immediately coming down here to meet with this? Why? Why? Think about it this way, right? What I'm sensing here is a couple of things. Number one, this is usually the theory of development when it comes to the way that you influence your environment and the environment influences you. This is going to sound really fucked up, but the way that he's appearing right now is like, usually we don't have control over time. And if you had control over time, guess what? You can start impacting every other circle in here. Is this going to be a big moment of time where essentially this man god, or the gods that live out here essentially in this white spaces, are afraid of the single time and or event changes that this Rudius, especially since he's not supposed to be here according to Ørsted, can have on the whole system? Is Rudius one of the few individuals that can go ahead and influence and or change everyone's ecological system for themselves, and including challenging the gods? So for example, say that Ørsted comes along and is like, I fucking hate the man god, you can't be trusted, teams up with Rudy. Can they take down the man god? Or can they take down, say that there's a sword god or a beast god, and like say that like they start teaming up and they start finding out that one of them is like messed up or whatever? Is Rudius an agent of change for the gods? Sorry, that sounds really fucking weird. I know. I'm essentially pointing at where it says child, right? And I'm pointing at the white spots meaning gods, right? I mean, dragon gods is the second. That would be an existential threat if true. You see where I'm getting at? Is in a normal ecological theory, we can only influence our surroundings, like family, health services, organizations, neighborhood, peers, school. That we can only influence maybe even the mesosystem in that, right? And the exosystem a little bit. But we can never influence time itself. So if there's an influence, another individual in here that is racking things up and changing events and stuff, what happens? They are an existential threat because they are influencing more in this ecological system than you are in control of. If there are other gods out here who may not perceive time in a straight line and see that it is wildly different, all of a sudden, if there's a corruption or something happening, this individual, this child, Rudius, might be the key to being an existential threat to everyone. Ørsted was surprised to see Ruijerd and Eris. Right. I want to meet the technique god. Sorry, this is just me fucking going wild at the moment just because of the fact as to how this is being presented. The way that this story is presenting itself is so beautiful in that, like, this god, ya me confundiste más. Básicamente lo que estoy diciendo es si hay dioses, ¿verdad? Que los dioses significan las áreas blancas de aquí, mira. I'm going to explain this in Spanish. Give me 1 second. For all the Spanish speakers in here. Este viene siendo sociológicamente cómo nosotros interactuamos con, bueno, con nuestro alrededor, ¿verdad? So podemos influenciar a nuestra familia, a la escuela, a los amigos que tenemos, a organizaciones religiosas. Todo esto es lo que podemos tener un poquito de influencia, ¿verdad? Pero no podemos influenciar el tiempo mismo. Es algo que nosotros no tenemos ningún control. Rudius es una persona que completamente está trayendo los dioses, que significa lo blanco, las áreas blancas de aquí. ¿Por qué? Porque quiere decir de que Rudius es una persona que básicamente le pega terror a los dioses porque puede influenciar una orden del tiempo que ellos no pueden controlar. So psychologically speaking, what I'm saying is, sin problema, no hay problema. What I'm saying is, Rudius is essentially an existential threat to these gods. because they can't control the impact that he has on this micro, meso, exo, macro, and chrono system. And you could even say the same thing about like some other characters in other shows. But for this one in particular, he's so much of a threat that the man god only appears to him when it feels like it's about to be a major shift. And in fact, uses the power and control system to influence him into a way that he can have control. I hope that made sense. Ojalá que, you know, it made sense for all my Spanish speakers as well. I tried my best, guys. I tried my best. I'm like, fuck, how do you say that word? Otra religión que el roxismo. Because qué bueno, qué bueno. Estuvo bien, gracias. Okay, good. I'm glad. Yeah, let's go.
君が順応してきたんじゃないかい？
どうだろうな。そんなことよりゼニスを探してる最中何度か呼びかけたんだぜ。一度くらい現れてくれてもよかったんじゃねえのか？
僕にもいろいろあるのさ。
Okay, this isn't easy for you either, but yet when it's come to other points, i.e., find a pet, do this, do that, it's been easier for you then. You've had 2 years to show yourself up, and you, in 2-year time period, you never did? Calling out that bullshit almost immediately. Also, doesn't time run differently for a god? Wouldn't the aspect or concept of time run like, He went out to buy milk. Knows that the word God has more weight in Rudy's original world. Probably, yeah. See, he's not even offering empathy. That's my thing is. Created a Twitch account just to say that I'm from Europe and can't join your stream. Oh, Kaleda, no worries. Appreciate you, though. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming in like a European-friendly time, though. Appreciate you a ton. Thanks so much for creating a Twitch account, dude. Thanks so much. It always means the world whenever I see people like pop on in and say hi. But through this, like, this is my number one thing is you'd expect the man god, like if it was actually a man god, to be empathetic and be like, oh, this was a personal journey of growth or whatever. But in fact, he's just very dismissive. Wow, isn't that great to know where your mom is? Can't watch this because I want to watch the show, but I wanted to give you a lurk and some interaction. Oh, thanks, Samara Bennett. Appreciate that as well. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I always appreciate all the lurkers and everyone in between. It means the world. Appreciate you an absolute ton. All of his responses, if we look at it, it's like someone that's indifferent. Someone that's like, this isn't what I'm trying to get to. Wow, she's a real go-getter. Listen to it. Listening to the way that he's speaking, I'm like, he's fucking with them. He's legit like, this isn't my conversation. I don't give a fuck about this. Let me tell you why you're pathetic, you know, like, you know, can't get hard individual. You need to follow. Like, think about it. He's very evasive. He's like just shooting this shit down. Like, Rudius is legitimately like, wow, like Roxy was doing this. And he's like, nope, 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 nope. Let me tell you why you need to follow what I say. You see, the moment that he brings that up, are you sure? Oh, now all of a sudden he's all communicative, right? The moment that he says what he wants to go ahead and do, I want to go to Begaret. Do you want your master to see you all washed up? Think about it. Think about it. Even Rudius is surprised by this. What the fuck? Why is he bringing this up? Why is he bringing this up? He has absolutely no need to bring this the fuck up. Eris ran out on you. He knows that. Why? Because you're trauma pinging. This is what someone does when they want control. Man, you remember Jane? Oh, dude, Jane was fucking beautiful. I can't believe she dumped you, dude. Wow. Like, yeah, I guess she'd be on to better things. Oh, do you remember Sarah? Dude, Sarah was a beauty, man. Yeah, really, you really had a good thing going on with Sarah. Wow, wouldn't it suck if Roxy ran out on you too? Passive, aggressive, yeah, flinging him in some direction. Not only that, he's not even relating to him. He's walking away from him, telling him all of these things. Your spellcasting hasn't even improved. You're this, you're that, picking on his insecurities as he's walking away. You're not even worth me trying to sit down and empathize and talk to you. You really think about the message that this is sending. I think man-child God is legitimately oof. Yeah, which is recent. So he's been trying to keep tabs on Rudy. So if you're in Rudy's position, would you do the exact opposite of the advice given by Hitogami? Yes. Yes. 100%. I would do the exact opposite as to what Hitogami's telling me. Don't go to Belgrade. Okay. I'm going to Belgrade. Don't do this. Okay. I'm doing that. Because to me, it's like, he might have some insight as to what may come. Don't get me wrong. But like, you've literally seen things that have happened. And you're telling me in a 2-year time period, you never showed up until the moment that I have to make big decisions in my life. I'm thinking, this might sound fucked up. I'm thinking he's trying to kill off someone in Rudy as his family. I'm thinking he's trying to keep a timeline steady. And I don't know who the fuck he's aiming for. I hope it's not one of the twins. I hope it's not one of the twins. I hope it's not either Aisha or Norn. But I'm thinking he's either aiming for Paul or he's aiming for Lilia. Or Roxy. And this is why he doesn't want Rudius going over. Because he's trying to go ahead and keep control over what time is. Pero y si intenta usar psicología inversa, then you're able to at least you're able to go ahead and keep control over the aspects in of itself. Like, it could be Zenith in of herself. Absolutely, it could be Zenith. I would have had a hard time because it seems a lot of his advice has good outcomes. Like, what advice is good for my plans? Well, for me, I start questioning stuff when it's been 2 years and yet he knows exactly what's going on. And yet he's downplaying me and literally like all the self-esteem that Soldat and his team has been working in my Maslow's hierarchy of needs for me to try and achieve. He's burning that down in order for him to have control again. He's not allowing me to self-actualize and start making decisions for myself because he does not want me there because that's a dangerous position for someone to be in. If I'm at the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and self-actualization, that's a dangerous position for a man-child god like him because I can start making decisions for myself without the need of relying on somebody else. I question the living fuck out of him. What if he warns harming your family if you don't follow the advice he has laid out? Yeah, it's a question of motives and attitudes, and at the same time, he could have given this advice without shooting down your self-esteem. What's your favorite moments from season 1? Anything to do with Orsted. Orsted has been wonders. So even if the advice is useful, the scene is a red flag that says it's time to break the relationship. Yeah, this is a big fucking... Exactly. The advice might be 100% useful, don't get me wrong. But if we're talking about healing... Do you... Okay. Real poll. Cough me. Do I want to get copyright struck? Yeah, I might bring it up a little bit. It's actually pretty low, I'm not going to lie. Real question. Masters, or it's a poll. Do you think Roxy would shun Rudius for not being at like a god level tier magic? Do you really think Roxy would shun Rudius or would she be happy? I think she would be happy to see him. I think she would be like, you're alive, and probably cry and be there and help him heal. That's what I think. I think that this man god is not someone that we can trust. This man god is quite literally a deceiver, and he's using this power dynamic that he has set and this pedestal work that he has on Roxy to fuck him over time and time again. And this is my number one thing. I think he's trying to keep some sort of semblance of control over a timeline or something, because he's afraid that, like, Rudius is quite literally Pawn X, for example, weird individual that came into this world that can quite literally affect everyone's ecological being. He promises he isn't lying. Zictor, I just give a full explanation on it. The fact that he's literally, like, he's lied, and he's breaking down his hierarchy of needs that Soldat and his team have built up for Rudius. You're telling me that this is a god that picks on your insecurities and doesn't want you to have any form of control for yourself, and is actually using quite literally power and control tactics to have that control over you, isn't empathizing with you. In the moment that you decide to make a big decision in your life, he steps in and says, no. You got to go the other way, man. You got to go the other way. Like, that's why I'm like, I don't know, man. But that's my thing is, do you think if Rudius were to go with Roxy, that she would shun him? I don't think so. I think that she would probably help him heal. That's just me being me. I think that he would probably, like, join up, because, like, they keep pushing Paul being the one to, like, Paul will bring back sentence. What if he doesn't? What if he fucking doesn't? What if this is the whole fucking God's plan or whatever to isolate individuals into different beings and to keep everything running essentially streamlined? What if, like, Paul goes in there with, like, Aisha or Roxy or whatever, and Roxy doesn't make it back? Congratulations, we're all fucked. You see what I'm getting at? But should Rudius gain something if he follows? That's the thing. I feel like this man god is a control freak, and he's afraid. He's afraid of Rudy. And clearly, just by the way that he interacts with them, and the fact that this is his mind space, and he's keeping Rudy looking like this. Rudy, in this episode, has said that he likes the way that he looks. He's a 15-year-old, you know, he's buff as fuck. He's starting to, like, fully find himself in Rudius. You're telling me that the god of this space is not allowing him to feel and look that way? That this is his mental image, despite the fact that this, after 2 years of him working on himself like that. I have a lot of questions for this man god. Sorry.
今こそ自分を鍛えるべきじゃないか？魔法大学に行けば雑多な冒険者とは比べ物にならないくらいいろんなことを学べるはずさ。
Hi, unavoidable.
どこの塾講師だ？あ、ずいぶんさらっと言ったが、それはあれか？いつもの助言なのか？
まあそんな感じかな。
相変わらず遠回しでうさんくさいやつだな、お前は。
そうかい？でも今回は僕の言うことを聞いておいた方がいいよ。ベガリット大陸に行くと君は必ず後悔することになるからね。
後悔？なんでだ？
それは言えない。
ああ。
You will surely regret it. I can't tell you why. Then why give your advice? If you're someone that wants me to go ahead and make decisions for myself, I would just say, okay, well then why don't you discover that for yourself? But the moment that you step in and you say this, you're starting to shape someone's mind. This is actually like dark psychology tactics that people use, and this is why you will start seeing. This is like, for example, how many of you guys like fucking hate when people do this? Dude, I gotta tell you something. Never mind. I hate when people fucking do that. Why? Because that's legitimately a foot in the door technique. They're trying to get you interested in something. The moment they say never mind, it's because they've already got you hooked. Yeah. Dude, I gotta tell you something. Dude, but like, you gotta promise me that you're not gonna get with Sarah. Dude, okay, so never mind. Now I've just told you what I thought you should do. Now I've just hooked you in, so your attention's on me, right? And now I've just told you I'm not gonna fucking tell you anything. Why? Oh, no reason. Never mind. I can't tell you why. Bro.
あ、そう。まあ、お前が必要なことを隠匿するのは今に始まったことじゃないしな。けどそれじゃ理由として弱いってのはお前も自分で言っててわかるだろ。一応家族が全員見つかったから俺だって一度落ち着きたいんだ。
だから本当の助言はこれからだ。
よし、聞きましょ
ルーデウスよ、ラノア魔法大学に入学しなさい。そこでフィットア寮の転移事件について調べ。
Guys, okay. So let me tell you why, right? I think that you see? That's really fucking toxic. Like, that's really fucking toxic. That's really fucking toxic. And that's sort of what I'm throwing out there. But also, why do I have a feeling that you may have caused this mass teleportation incident? And a big reason for this is because you're trying to go ahead and deviate situations off of this. But in the end, this might not necessarily end up going your way. I have a weird fucking theory on this man god thing. Because everything he says is either to benefit himself or keep like essentially like a steady streamline. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. You keep him busy. You give him a little bit of hope. You introduce elements that might help him grow a little bit. Boom, he's out of your hair. Right? We saw the ecological theory at work here. This man god is afraid of other gods maybe being close to Rudy and maybe, I don't know, targeting him or some shit. I'm thinking that he's trying to go ahead and keep Rudy isolated from others out there who might try and go ahead and like look for him, because he's a being that can literally transcend the ecological theories that we've stated. No, why would he be so selfish like that? No, he has been good this whole time. Oh God. I have something, but I need a confirmation before I go into a full theory here. I need a confirmation, because my thing is the way he's pushing him out. It's like he's isolating. He's like pushing him in another direction aside from his actual plans that he wishes to do. It's taken, because I stated this. Rudius is the like quite literally like an agent of change for everyone. We saw Orsted doesn't think that Rudius should be there. So Rudius is the biggest agent of change for everyone. So that means that even for the gods, Rudy can be an agent of change. This threatens Man God. This means Man God is trying to do everything to keep Rudius from achieving self-actualization, from achieving his own recognition. This is why he's shooting him down. This is why he's destroying his self-esteem and then telling him, go to the... Okay, fuck it. I'm Man God. I'm Wizard God. We have Rudius, who's working on self-esteem. I just shot him down. Boom. You're garbage. You can't go there. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Brought him back down into like him trying to go ahead and bring back his self-esteem, maybe grow, whatever. Maybe this is what this like school arc is going to go ahead and be again. Him trying to go ahead and like build up his self-esteem, maybe fix his ED, maybe love, whatever that may be. Okay, Rudius is trying to go ahead and learn that. What if I'm like, fuck, he's going back up to self-actualization. Let me bring this up. Fuck it. I didn't think I'd go this deep for today, but Man God is a character that I'm like legit just seething at the moment, and I don't see any other reason. Here we go. So Soldat's group was helping him build up his self-esteem, his confidence. He was getting respected by others. He was having achievements, all of these things. Man God shot that down. Why? Because he would have been in self-actualization promises where he could go ahead and think creatively, problem solving, grow. Like when you reach self-actualization is when a person is most able to go ahead and start healing and growing. So boom, Rudius goes into this whatever, right, school. What I would do next is I would probably, I'm gonna be straight up with you, hurt him. If I'm Wizard God and I'm afraid that he's one of the biggest agents of change, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna let him achieve the top of the pyramid. If he achieves the top of the pyramid, he might think of ways that maybe I am the bad person, so I have to go ahead and do it. I fucking bring him down. I'd either kill someone he knows, or have an accident happen, or completely destroy him by, I don't know, getting rid of like a friend, a lover, something. And then boom, say that he's now dealing with grief. He's dealing with an aspect of grief. Where is he at? He's probably down here. Okay, I let him build up again, then I introduce another concept to bring him back down. I would not want Rudius to reach all the way up top. If he reaches up top, I'm fucking scared. I'm scared because now he's in this space where he can heal and he can grow and he can move. And all of a sudden, Rudy with mobility, with able to go ahead and impact our ecological theorem here, Rudy with the ability to go ahead and literally have an impact on all of this shit is a terrifying Rudius. Rudy with the ability to think beyond just the micro and meso system, because when we're in danger, when we've hit our things, we only think to this, right? We can't really think ahead. Is terrifying. So this is exactly why I'd want to have some sort of power and control over him. Sorry, that's just me fucking going wild for a second. Sounds good, Lord Shiva. No worries. Appreciate you. You're a fucking legend, man.
さすれば君は男子としての能力と自信を取り戻すことができるでしょう。でしょう。マジで？俺のエレクテルディスファンクションは魔法大学で治るんですか?
Think about how over the top he's being. He's targeting his biggest insecurity. I'm pretty sure he could heal in any other way as well. Oh, bro. Carrot and stick. But is Rudy to blame? No, because that's the big thing that he's trying to fix, is he thinks that will help him fix everything else. You may hate the man God, but you admit he has style with his exits. He does. Lo que quiero oír no puedo ser. The show. For sure. Oh, she's trying, brother. It should have been me. Oh, so that.
ゾル、今までお世話になりました。ああ。なんか世話になるだけなって何も返せてないのですが。
彼はこの数年間、なんだかんだ言いつつもずっと俺に気を使ってくれた。
むしろ利用して稼がせてもらったんだ。ありがとうよ。
Bro.
でもまあ、よかったんじゃねえか?
I love Soldat. I love Soldat. I love Soldat, man. Because he's not downplaying it like you owe me something. It's like, nah, man, we made good money. Like, thanks. Like, that's legit just a fucking bro, dude. Like, hey, you're gonna go get cured, right? Like, yeah, he's a good man, dude. He's a good man.
あれ、治るんだろ?
まだわかりませんが。
そっか。何にせよ。そのうち俺らもそっちに用事ができることもあるだろう。その時はまた二人で飲んで召喚に行こうや。
And those days never came. Those days never came. Soul Bro was married the next time Rudius came to see him. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. He's the goat. The goat. Oh, the little push.
ラノア王国へと旅立った。
Yeah, the push was amazing. Okay, now. Hold on. Now. Is she eating chicken over there? Is that some sort of... Oh, no. Hold on. Well, hold on. What do you mean, Ed? Woof? Okay. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up. Los pollos hermanos. Yes. Zanoba. Oh, wait. Rudy and Sonoba. Best bros coming soon? Wait, yeah. Rudy and Sonoba. Best bros coming soon. You know Sonoba's going to be like Shisho, Master. Master. I've missed you, Master. Master. What do we do, Master? Oh. Winton. That's all I have to say. Winton. I'm not sure. Oh, God. Winton. Oh, God. Oh, God. No. What the fuck are you? What are you, like? I am the demon lord. Big dude. Dude, it's a bunch of demons here, clearly. So that's why I'm like, who are you, bro? He looks like a guy from Mortal Kombat. Was it Mortal Kombat, the guy with 6 hands or 4 hands? What is his name? Goro? A random guy. Yeah, dude. Straight up. Was that his name? Goro? Oh, God. Oh, God. I don't know. He seems pretty cool, though. Machamp. You have 6 hands. Okay. I've not said anything, bro. I have not said anything at all, brother. What do those hands do? Hey, I've not said anything at all, man. I do feel like Elinalise should have like don't get a mile from the school. Like Elinalise should definitely have that. Like, you know, you can't be a mile within like a school district or something. You know, she'd be down. She's on the register. Overall, though, what a really, really interesting episode. What a really, really good episode. I felt as though this episode did bring up a lot of interesting discussions and kind of, I don't know. There's something about the man god I just don't fucking trust, man. We also saw the black-haired person that was with Orsted in that ending there for a little bit, which makes me wonder, is she going to be the connection between Rudy teleportation incident? Hold on. The man god said, go to the school to study. Okay, he might get something out of it. But is it going to be like something to... Whoa. I know, bro. My brain immediately was like, teleportation incident. She's the only character with black hair in this show. She appeared, right? Is traveling with Orsted. Is she going to be his introduction into Orsted again? That's where my main question comes in. Like, is this going to be essentially a study of, like... Isn't she? Well, she's clearly was seen in the ending here. She was clearly seen in the ending, like, looking at stuff. So that's where my brain's going. Is she going to be curing the ED? If she does, that'd be wonderful, but I doubt it. I don't know, man. I don't know. My brain is going wild here. My brain is going wild. I don't think she's a doctor. I will say this, though. I thought this episode was really, really well made. It brought up a lot of different, like, and interesting and, like, character dynamics and whatnot being present. So I think that is, I don't know. I think this episode did a really, really solid job of establishing sort of what's going on in this world and how to go ahead and improve and grow from. Could be. I don't know. Orsted has a daughter. Orsted has a daughter. She'll be the wingman for Orsted and facilitates a great romance. Could be. Winton can cure ED. She could helping him with it could be a lot of things. That's where my brain is at. Like, as we've been talking about all of this, I'm like, the man god for me has the biggest interest in my mind. Because for me, this is showing me that there's a clear imbalance of something happening. And I wonder if this is where the show's going to go into. And I also really, really want a game of this show. Nothing to do with Rudy. Just like, you could set this 100, 200 years in the future. Make yourself like a protagonist and like read stories of like Rudy. Or read stories of like just random things in here. And make it like Dark Soulish, you know. I think that would be pretty cool. She was with Orsted because she was looking for something. There is a game coming. Okay. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached, I guess, the end of the reaction there. I hope you guys have liked it. I will be talking about it just for a little bit longer. But I will say, though, that was a really, really interesting episode. I think it brought up a lot of interesting conversation, a lot of discussion points that I didn't think we would be able to go ahead and go into. In terms of, like, you know, if the show would address or even touch on at all. Question would be... Wait, what would a question would be? A question for everyone would be, if the snacks, would you really leave it as one who stands or have resentment towards others? I mean, it depends. And again, Walking Dead, this is where the question comes in, where it's like, do you feel like it is... I don't know how to put it. Like, do you feel like... What do you feel like sex is for you, right? Do you feel like sex is just an intimate moment or a physical moment or so on and so forth? Because if it's just physicality, I mean, there might be some jealousy. Jealousy is a natural feeling, you know? So it's just dependent on that. Oof. Guys, I can't go on for too much longer. Like, I can't go on for whatever, like an hour. I could probably do an hour max just because I do have... Tomorrow I am streaming again, and also... These antibiotics are like heating me up a little bit. If I knew the way she is, I'd probably... And it's also really hot. But aside from that, I do want to say this, though. Guys, what should I talk about? I really... Would you guys be interested in... Hold on, because SB just messaged me. Cool. Would you guys be interested in a whole thread on Roxy, Roxy's panties, the power of change, of sex and change in Mushoku Tensei, or something else, because I can do a full ass thread. I know people are gonna love it and or hate it, so it's one or the other. So can you throw up a poll, Masters, and I'll try and see if I can get it done. That would be wonderful. And for you guys on YouTube, yes, I do. I literally post like entire fucking essays on Twitter. I do research on it while I'm doing homework, and the options are on the power of change through sex in Mushoku Tensei. So, you know, the power of Roxy's panties, right? Or the way that, like, I guess, pedestal work, whatnot. We can do one on Rudius himself. We can talk about this episode. And then I guess the last one is going to go ahead and be on Man God. On, like, literally just on Man God himself. I know people think it's a doctorate dissertation, but those are literally just like the baseline essays I have to write. Like not even like a full-on dissertation. It's like less than that. It's like the minimum essay I would have to write for like one of my, like, literally one of my doctoral classes or one of my master's level classes whenever I had them. Like, so personally, what would you guys be interested into, like, at least doing like a full on, until Rudius is not the only one that can see them? By the way, by Roxy's panties, I'm probably going to do change through sex. I'm just throwing that out there because it's going to be really difficult for me to justify just Roxy's panties. It's a hyperbole. I know, man. I know. Most powerful item. Well, I mean, it can. We can talk about change. We can talk about a lot of different aspects. But through that, guys, if you guys are enjoying Mushoku Tensei, come and join us every Sunday here for Mushoku Tensei Sunday. And every video that comes up on YouTube has been monetized because the purpose of the channel is for mental health purposes. If you guys do want to help out, though, especially since I am planning on moving and probably getting an actual better CPU cooling fan, because the one I have isn't like doing a good enough job, apparently. I do have a throne, and it would mean the world if you guys could help out in any way, shape, or form. Through that being said, though, let me go ahead and SB, you want to give me a call? You can. We can talk about it for a little bit, man. If you're in there. What would the difference of a master's level? I mean, it would be like 100 pages for my PhD. Yo. Hello.
Hello. I was just quickly muting the stream there.
Perfect. Let me go ahead and bring you up. Hold on. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm not too bad. I gotta say, I was sitting at the chairs like the whole stream. I'm like, oh my god! I was like almost shaking the screen.
Why?
That excitement. Because it's so weird that people don't understand why you hate the man god so much. And I hate him so much because of the way he's so manipulative.
Right.
And the way because last episode we talked about Soldat and people saying how Soldat's a bully. And people are like, oh, but he's a bully. It's like, but there's a difference between Soldat and the man god here. Like, look at the difference of the way they approach a problem. The man god belittles Rudy. He drags him down and makes him feel like absolute gutter trash and then goes, but I think you should do this. But if you don't, well, I'm not going to tell you what's going to go wrong.
Right.
But if you do this, well, you might get these nice little shinies. There's always this kind of little game of what do you gain? What do you lose? But with Soldat's just always been very blunt with, this is the problem I have with you. I don't like the way you're approaching this. Cut it out. I don't like it. And it's always just blunt, direct, but never demeaning.
Right.
While the man god is just so manipulative, very passive aggressive, and just tries and gets under your skin. It's like, oh, well, maybe if you go here, you'll fix your problems because Roxy's clearly not going to like you if you have all these issues. It's just like, oh, I've seen people like that before, and it's like, man god hits those really hard.
Yeah, for me, it was screaming red flags. Like, why is he talking down to him? Like, literally breaking down his self-esteem that he started to go ahead and build up with Soldat. I'm not even talking about the ED portion, but just like him being able to call out, take these steps and whatnot, and breaking him down to the point where he's questioning himself if Roxy would even accept him back. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this is manipulative behavior to like the finest detail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I guess Roxy's panties wins. You guys are something else. I swear. Um, but through that though, I guess would you agree with that though? That like for me, he's like a man child, where it feels as though he's losing control and he's trying to force his decision on Rudy.
Yeah, I would agree. I see, and I've always seen the way he behaves is like you can hear panic, especially when he's like, "Oh well, you know, I've got things going on." It's like, okay, well, what are these things going on? You've been gone for 2 years. Clearly, you know, you're a little bit more flexible. So what are these things? The way he kind of makes it seem like, well, I've got other issues. But then in other cases, he seems very relaxed about things. Like his demeanor changes very quickly based on what he's trying to get across. He goes very confident, cocky, but then he can also go very sort of passive aggressive, but demeaning. But then there's also the other of like sketchy, a little bit sus, a little bit like there's a little bit of panic in his voice. Like he's really trying to be overly persuasive. Like he's showing more of his hand to be like, you know, you should go down this route kind of attitude.
But I mean, for me, it's like he comes through and instead of empathizing at all, the moment that he brings up what his decision is going to be, and I wonder, can he, if this is truly a god, and this is going to sound really weird, is he afraid that Rudius's decision might impact him?
Well, the question to ask is what does he want Rudy not to do? And then you've got to ask why.
Because the reason why
he doesn't want to go see his family, so it's like, okay, why doesn't he want to see his family?
Right.
Because clearly the man god can see things ahead of time. I mean, that's been prevalent throughout season 1 when he's been trying to persuade Rudy, being like, hey, you should do this. These kind of actions will happen in this way. And if it doesn't, things could go wrong. So clearly the man god has foresight in some degree. We don't know how flexible, how wide, and all those kind of limitations, but he can clearly see things. So it's a question of what does he see from one side to the other side? And then even though it's like, okay, well, he's offering an alternative, being like, well, you'll fix your ED, look up the teleportation stuff.
Right.
There's another question of, could he also fix his ED if he went the other route?
Right.
Like, you mentioned in one of your other streams where it's like, you mentioned the idea of that Roxy could be a fix for his ED, or it could be Sylphia, or it could be other variety of different things. So it's like, it isn't just one solution fits all. Like it isn't just one clear, if he does go the university route, that's the ultimate one. Maybe he could fix his ED if he went to see his family, felt more comfortable around his family, and then maybe found someone or something approached him with a solution.
Right. Because my big thing with this, though, is it feels as though he's trying to keep, like... Well, I have a question for you before I even continue down this path. Did he bring Rudius to this world, or did something else bring Rudius to this world?
I actually don't know the answer to that. I don't know if Nat knows it, but I don't know it because I'm up to volume 21 now because I read volume 21 this weekend.
Because for me, it feels as though if he did not bring Rudius into this world, this is the man-child. This would make sense as to why he's appearing to Rudy a lot, because it feels as though he might be an existential threat. I.e., what if, I'm going to throw this out there, right? The beast god, because clearly what we're seeing is Rudius is not supposed to be here. Rudius is not supposed to be here in this timeline. Because Orsted, when Orsted appeared the first time in like season 1, he was like, "Oh, who are you?" Right? Or like he had like Paul and Zenith were supposed to have a stillborn or something, right? That's like the overall interpretation that I got
in season 1. Yeah.
So he is an outside force that has been introduced into this. That the man god has clearly only presented himself when major changes are happening. So my big thing comes into, is this like, well, which also brings in the other question to what happened if this is a six-sided world, the way everyone keeps saying, what happened to the other sides? And then comes in the next question, which is, what happens when a man-child starts losing power?
I think it would be interesting to ask the question of what do you think it would look like if the man god became desperate? Like, imagine if Rudy defied something crucial. Like, if the man god approached him with an ultimatum and said, you should do this, do not do this. And then Rudy went, no, and kept pushing back against the man god. What do you think the man god would, how do you think he would change his demeanor?
I have a yeah. He might turn aggressive, but I'll welcome this even further. What happens if Orsted and Rudy team up? Because Orsted hates the man god, so there's clearly a sense of hatred there. If Rudy comes into some sort of recognition or whatever, like self-actualization, that hey, you know what, there might be some toxic elements, or maybe the man god is the root of a lot of the issues present. So what happens if Orsted gains something that's out of control, like, you know, the system of power or control here, or any of the other gods? Because Orsted wants to eliminate the man god, right? Or doesn't like him.
He's clearly shown a very large disdain towards the man god, especially in not episode 1, but season 1, when Rudy said something about the man god. He became very aggressive about it, basically willing to kill Rudy over it. So clearly there's a deep hatred and rivalry between them. And then the man god has spoken not so nicely about Orsted as well, but that's the thing about the man god, is that he always, and it's very easy to see throughout season 1 and in this episode, is that the man god always tells you what he wants you to know,
right?
Not what you probably do want to know. And that's one of the things where Rudy says, well, what's going to happen? He goes, can't tell you that. But then he can tell you specific stuff. And see, that's where it's like contradictions. He's like, oh, well, I can't tell you this, but I can tell you that. And it's like, well, why? Unless it's just a manipulation tactic of a carrot and a stick. And then it's the question of, well, why is he trying to draw Rudy in that specific direction? What does he have to gain out of it? I did see some people being like, oh, but he's only ever done nice things for him. And it's like, evil people or people that are very deceptive can do good things for someone with bad intentions. Just because you gain something out of it doesn't mean they did it with pure intentions.
Right.
Because you can do something with an alternative motive and make it seem like they gained something out of it. That's a manipulation tactic that at least I've always felt is something quite prevalent in the man god.
Well, I mean, even taking it a step further, which is like in an actual relationship setting, there can literally be, from the outside looking in, you can be like, wow, she has everything. Like, this person in the relationship has everything. Their partner takes care of them. But in the relationship, it could just be very toxic, very manipulative. You don't go out and see friends without my permission, so on and so forth. But from the outside, it's like they're getting everything they want. They want a new car. They want, like, problems to go out and, like, fix whatever. They have that. But inside of it, it's like, oh, but you're trash. Look at the way you dress. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, but you have to take my advice. If you don't take my advice, I'm taking away this nice stuff I'm giving you. That's also, your poker face has developed quite nicely. I will say that. You, like, I'm asking some of these questions and I'm looking at your face and I'm like, man, you've been doing wonders of work there.
I've been practicing.
So I guess
I think that is the right approach, though, that you're going with is, and I mean, I'm very clear not putting out spoilers, but I just think the man god's behavior is very clear and distinct. And I think anyone should be able to generally pick up on that behavior traits of the passive aggressive manipulative tendency, which I would have been more annoyed at you if you did not pick that up, because you were a psychologist and I was like, even I, as dumb as a rock, can see that. So that's why I was really just excited to see how you dissected that, because it was like so prevalent and you nailed every single point there perfectly.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, right, when I'm saying some stuff and I see the like chat just fucking light up, I'm like, I wonder how many people are just like, what the fuck? Just screaming at their TVs, like, no. But, like, I guess following through with this, right, is, I guess as we're going through all of this, I don't know how to state this, but clearly, if there are other gods at work here, and there's clearly a link to Earth, it makes me wonder if there's any form of exploration in that element, because clearly no one just gets isekai'd for no reason. So therefore there must mean like, and it might not be in this show, it might be in future shows, but just the fact that they can pull people from Earth into this world. Like for me as yelling, like there's probably something higher up than what we're seeing currently. Or is there exchanges? Is there an Earth god? Like what the fuck is going on? That's where my brain is like rivaling at. Don't just say Roxy. Roxy is a goddess in of herself. So.
But yeah, I did say someone say, oh, because the man god's a god, can he do wrong or is he evil? And I saw someone being like, well, evil's a construct, but he's a god and all that. And I'm like, well, God is a construct as well. You give that title. It's like king or queen or goddess. We give those titles. And the man god kind of puts that on him as like, oh yeah, I'm the man god. So I feel like that's one of his ways of trying to elevate himself above others so that his point of view or word is more heavy-headed. Like if Rudy goes, oh, well, maybe that's not that. And he goes, well, I'm the man god. I know what's best kind of attitude. I feel like that's why that title's there for him, so that he can self-elevate himself above others.
Right. He has a little bit of power and control over a situation like this. Paul was brought up a number of times in this episode. And I guess Rudy meeting with his family is being brought up a number of times as well. Is the man-child going to cause some grief for Rudius? So the reason
is the right question to ask there.
Because I have a feeling like, essentially what I've been getting at this entire stream, it feels as though he's trying to control a singular timeline of things to run a certain way. Because every single time that Rudius is about to make a decision for himself, he changes it. So in this case, meeting up with Paul and his family, I'm like, I feel like Aisha, Norn, Lilia, and Paul and Zenith are at risk of one of them passing away or a major death coming, because he's not allowing them to like find closure and meet up and literally like just personal closure of like, I'm with family, we're going to go do this together. It's like, nope, we're going to divert you, and there's going to be guilt attributed to whatever happens with your family.
So then it comes down to, if you believe that the man god is possibly trying to kill or keep Rudy away from, who would it be and why would that be the case, and how would that person impact on the man god? Because if that's the case, then clearly he's got a motive for it, but what would that motive be?
Well, let's talk about we can go into like existentialism and like single line theories here when it comes to I guess big factions or big worlds like this, which is, and again, I have to ask this of you. Are we in a circular time or are we in a single time? Circular times means essentially that there's a period of time that has started to loop over and over and over again, i.e. Orsted knowing where Eris and Ruijerd are supposed to be and that like Rudy is not supposed to be there. Singular time means that time only runs in one direction.
I won't give you the answer, but I will refer you to what Orsted said in season 1 about Rudy, which you did note before, is that Rudy is an anomaly. So how does Orsted know that Rudy's an anomaly unless he can see something that others can't?
If this is a loop timeline, then it makes me question this even further. What happened? Is this loop timeline a punishment for Orsted, or has this been established? I hate to put it this way, but I genuinely think of man god as a man-child, which is essentially what happened to the other sides of the world. And with that, what happens, because like there's clearly demons and all of these things, which I would expect them to all be separate, but everyone coming into one world. We have this man-child who clearly is taking up a position, and we have a circle, like what I'm assuming now to be a circular timeline that feels kind of like torture. So my brain is immediately going into, why would someone do this?
that would be the right question. I feel like the man god is very self-absorbed, so that does answer some of the question itself. It's always the man god's interest is always self-inclined. It's always about furthering his own objective and his own well-being. So it's more of like, what is the gravity at stake here?
Right.
And depending on how desperate he sounds, depends on that gravity itself. Is it just a personal interest, like, oh, I don't like this person, so I want to get rid of them? Or is there something going on where potentially something greater at stake is on the table, where he really wants this person out of the picture because potentially it could lead to something more devastating for him?
Okay.
And I mean, the Orsted was willing to kill Rudy over it, so it's clear Orsted has a very big bone to pick with him.
Right. So then in comes the next aspect. Elinalise and Geese. Both of them are very emotionally intelligent, and both of them are able to read people and pick up on people faster than most people in this world are able to. My question is, why does it feel like, well, number one, Elinalise has like this hypersexuality that she has feels like a curse, i.e., like it's like a reaction formation. We do one thing out of a survival basis need. We might seem happy, but inside we're fucking crying, right? And yet Geese, on the other hand, we had someone that was completely able to tear down a situation with a really, really high IQ that's almost observational to the point where my flags were raised, because no one, like, in an environment in a world like this, it's very, very rare to see someone with the high emotional intelligence and being able to discern certain patterns unless they've been tasked with like an objective of gathering information or something. So why do I feel like both of these extremely high EIQ individuals might be linked? Aside from them being a part of Paul's party in the past, it feels like they're both on like similar but different objectives. Sorry if that made no sense.
I see where you're going, Rivet.
Yeah.
I would say you're onto something, but you're also kind of a bit cold as well on something. So there's some hot and cold in where you're going on there. I'd say that takes a little bit more further analyzing, and I think over time you'll probably develop that opinion more throughout the season, because I feel like Elinalise now is prevalent in the story. Clearly she's going to get some cooking as far as the story goes, so I think your opinion on her will probably mold and change as you see more about her. But as far as Geese goes, well, we'll just have to see what happens with him.
Okay. There's also something that Elinalise did that I felt could pressure certain characters if she's around them. And I'm going to be very straight up about it. Elinalise in this episode, when talking to Rudy, was very similar to the man god in that did not allow him to go ahead and like ask an open-ended question. Let's say that you were planning to move to the States, right? It'd be like, oh, so like, what does this plan mean for you? Right? Like, what do you expect out of like moving? I'd ask you questions to get you to open up and think about your process. I'm not going to be like, SB, that's a fucking horrible idea. You know what you should do? You should go off to China to go study, right? Like, I'm not going to go ahead and like pressure my ideas onto you. And in a way, because of her power dynamics being present, it have some validity. Is she, and I guess seeing her interaction with Roxy and others, it makes me wonder what sort of an impact she can have on others based on the amount of pressure, very real pressure, that can seem she's coming off of. I'm not sure if you saw it that way, but for me, I'm like, ooh, if this was Sylphie or any other person around Elinalise, and she's like, starts pressuring in that direction. Oh, but you have to do this. Oh, you see Rudy? Oh, he's incredible, but you gotta be quick, because SV might come in there and take Rudy for himself, or anything like that. It can come off as a real, very real decision-making threat.
I mean, I just have to choose my words carefully here.
Oh gosh, I hit on something.
I mean, clearly Elinalise has some very sour feelings towards an individual. I mean, from the beginning of the episode when she found Rudy, she talked about how she didn't want to get like intimate with Rudy because she didn't want to end up being related, and she also didn't want to upset her friend Roxy. So it's kind of like there's possibly a double meaning there. And then later on, she really emphasizes on, well, I don't want to go see Paul. Let's go to the academy. And Rudy's kind of like a bit more direct. And she's just like, yeah, don't really want to see him. So it's a kind of a question of why?
Right.
Which I actually don't know the answer to because, yeah, that's my own theory as well. Is like, it's like clearly there's been some. I have a theory that there was some chemistry between them, and Paul being the way he is probably didn't take the relationship as serious as maybe she did. And that's why I've always kind of wondered if she was yearning for something more long-term, because she clearly goes from one place to the other, sleeping with different people, but that yearning for something more permanent, something more intimate with someone is possibly something that she probably desires. And maybe she got a little bit too close to Paul, and then Paul was like, I don't want to take this as serious. And then it possibly rubbed her the wrong way. That's a theory because I don't actually know what upset them or what their relationship, like what made them not like, well, I don't know if Paul doesn't like Elise, but Elise clearly doesn't like Paul. So I don't know why that's the case, because she never really explains it, at least so far that I know of.
My brain is sweltering with a lot of like questions. You know how to get my brain just like going for a while. This is why I love our conversations. It's like we think in different perspectives, and it gets my brain going. I hope I get your brain going a little bit as well.
How you do?
Going through this though, it's like how do I ask this? Hold on. That's sort of where my brain is. It's like how do I approach this line of thinking now? Because clearly, yeah, there is a lot of like negativity towards Paul. That is very much that is obvious. However, I guess my line of question is, does Elinalise have kids?
That's the right question to ask. I mean, based on what's been explained, I believe in the law is that elves are they take a lot more time to have children. So she's been around the block for a long enough time. What's the possibility of her having children? And then the question comes down to, well, if there are children, where are they?
That smirk, that smile. If she does have kids, now I'm just gonna, okay, this story is evolving. My brain is going wild. Overall, though, what'd you think of the episode? Like, what would you rate it? What was your personal rating for this?
It was actually really good. I did really enjoy it. I love the facial expressions with Rudy, especially with him trying to sort of deal with the fact that everyone else is having fun with Elinalise and he can't have his fun because he's definitely someone that's very active or was active downstairs. So the torment that he was going through and the facial expressions were really quite good. I saw some people complain that it was a bit of a different art, but I feel like this episode's meant to be a little bit more relaxed because the last episode was really heavy. Like there was some big things that were delved into. So this episode was a little bit more chill, but I also feel like it was that roller coaster. Like we hit that pinnacle with Sarah and Rudy, and now we're down in that calm. And now the question is, what happens now that we're down here?
Right. And we start picking that back up. My thing is, I saw this as a very actually beautiful transition episode where it's getting us out of the environment with Soldat, right? Showing us as Rudy's has grown and why he needs to go ahead and go into this university setting. Like it is, granted, we may not like what Man God did, but the episode in of itself really transitioned us nicely into this school arc that is coming. So I'm excited for it. What would you give it out of 10 though?
I'd say give it an 8.5 out of 10.
To
be honest, actually, I'd probably give it a 9, actually. There's some parts that I really liked, like the fight with the dragon. I really love the way they did that. I saw some people being like, oh, well, they could have added this little part that was in the light. And I was like, it didn't need to be there. The way they portrayed it, it showed Rudy's strength in itself, but it also highlighted that his power was kind of been a bit exaggerated to make a story, and Rudy went along with it. Everyone cheered him on. Everyone was just happy. There was kind of a little situation in the light novel where Soldat notes. I think it was Soldat that notes on it because Rudy actually doesn't take all the gains from killing the dragon. He actually distributes it amongst his party, even though they technically ran for it and he ended up killing it on its own. But Rudy's just like, we can all share it. And Rudy's always very chill about that. And he's just like, I'm getting my name out there. And the episode itself just felt really nice, calm, built up characters, allowed characters to have good interactions as well. There's a little moments where Rudy, Elinalise are talking, Soldat and Elise, Soldat and Rudy having other discussions about the university, kind of digging deeper into why certain things happen. It just was a nice little exposition dumping, but in a nice, drawn out, well done way. I just personally really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a banging episode. That's a really bad pun. I would give it like a 9 out of 10 as well. I think it was a really good transition episode. I actually really liked the animation, seeing Super Saiyan Rudius there for a little while with the fight with the dragon. Yeah.
I love that part. That was like, you're quite dashing there, Rudy.
Oh yeah, that pristine animation. And I think the introduction of the characters did not feel out of like place. Elinalise being there felt natural. The interactions felt good and they felt natural. They didn't feel completely like in some of the previous episodes. Episode 0 felt a little clunky from time to time in the transition periods. This one didn't feel that way for me. I felt like, oh cool, we're watching like a nice story being told. So I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty well done. But overall, aside from that, any final thoughts, man?
I am very happy for the next arc that's coming. It's actually so far my favorite arc so far. I say it's one of my favorite, but to be honest, I'll have to admit it is my favorite. There's something about this arc that I really enjoy, and I think it's the chemistry, those moments that characters have. Like high action doesn't bother me as much. I'm like, but it's the chemistry between the characters that are being introduced, new, old. I mean, you saw Xanadu in there. I mean, he's rubbing something out there. So clearly our boy's going to be showing himself. So, I mean, that whole ending part of the episode is like, these are the characters. And I mean, that's what the anime does regardless. It kind of shows you what characters are going to be entering the picture and seeing some of those. I really love some of those characters and seeing some of the growth that happens with them. Some of them, I noticed you like paused on 2 particular beast girls. I'm wondering if you finally catched onto it yet.
No, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still processing stuff. I'm gonna do a rewatch actually of season 1. I might do it on the Discord or something, like nonstop rewatch of trying to like make more theories. But I'm pretty like they've appeared in season 1, yeah? Or no? No. You're not saying anything. You're like, you gotta watch it. I'm really curious to see where they come from though, or what where this is coming from. Like,
You're close, but you're not close.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna do a full rewatch on Discord soon as I do my homework, so that'll be pretty fun. But through that, I do gotta state though, SB, I love you, man. And dude, first off, tell us when's your surgery, bro, so we can be there and show you all that love and support.
It is technically today is the 31st, so it will be in just in 11 days. So it'll be on the 10th of August. So not this week, but next week.
So guys, in the 10th of August, make sure to send all your love and support and everything to SB, because I read your tweet, bro. And like, I'm currently on like, you know, those antibiotics, man. They kick my ass. I'm gonna be straight up about it.
Oh, yeah, these ones, because they're a type of, they affect the bowel and the bacteria and everything. I didn't even know what one of the side effects was until during the convention. My leg was a little bit sore when I was going upstairs, and I was like, oh, maybe I pulled a muscle. I haven't really been active recently, been kind of sitting on my computer just doing videos. And then when I was at the convention, I was like, maybe I just pulled a muscle. It always happens. I stand up, I walk for like 8 to 12 hours straight on those days for 2 days straight. So I was like, oh, maybe I pulled something. And then by Wednesday or Thursday, my thing just swelled like a balloon. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't normal. And then my mother's like, oh, I checked up the side effects to this medication. leg swelling is one of them. And I'm like, oh, and then the next day it was just throbbing with pain. So I was just sitting there just watching like reactionary videos on Final Fantasy 14. I was like, I'm just going to watch those because I was going to do a video on Soldat and I'm still going to do it this week but now I'm going to change it. It's going to be Man God and Soldat. It's going to be a combo because I think they're both fascinating characters and they're parallels to what is and is not a bully. But it just swelled up with so much pain. I was like, I couldn't concentrate. So I was like, I'll wait until this weekend. But I always, at the end of these streams, I'm always so excited to get on stream review because I just love the energy, the excitement, just the theory crafting, and also the fun back and forth little sort of chess game that we have. It's so much fun. I just generally really enjoy your company. I have some people that are like, oh, what do you gain out of talking to Ed? I'm like, I love it. I just absolutely love every week coming on here chatting review about anything, but particularly Mushoku Tensei, but pretty much anything in general. It's just you're a good person.
Thank you, mate. Well, one of the big things that I point out there is like, bro, interacting with other people that love content doesn't have to be transactional. A lot of people feel like it has to be, and it's like, no, you can literally enjoy someone's company and be able to just enjoy the back and forth and the shit talking and everything that we do. And same here, man. Like, I look forward to Sundays because it's like, we're going to go in deep. We're going to have some like big discussions on some things and be able to go ahead and like back out. Yeah, I can't wait for the ReZero discussions as well, where both of us are going to go wild with these theories. I feel like Nat's going to lose her mind a little bit.
Because me and you will be the same. We'll be like digging, be like, and the funny part is she's still getting used to your sort of interrogation tactics with psychology. So now it's going to be me and you gaming up. So that's going to be so much fun.
That teamwork is going to be beautiful, man. I'm so excited.
It will be.
But guys here on Twitch, guys, I appreciate y'all. I do have to go to bed because I've been traveling all morning. I came back from vacation today and I'm like, oh shit, I got to stream. Got here like a couple minutes before stream, started it. Guys, I'm going to take a big rest here and tomorrow I will be streaming Zom 100. Show some love and support to my brother from another mother, SP here. Go show him all the love and whatnot. You guys don't know it, but like legitimately, I've always stated this. He is, I don't know, you're an inspiration, man. I hope you know it. Like, I always feel inspired after our talks. It's what enables all these like long Twitter threads and whatnot to happen because it's like our talks take me there. Appreciate you a ton. Go show some love to Zictor as well for quite literally being the individual that goes ahead and like edits down all of the novel chapters when we read on stream and all of that. Guys, I love y'all. Practice some self-care. And tomorrow we should be doing Zom 100's Heavenly Delusion. And maybe more if we have time. Maybe some video games. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Esper, you want to say good night to them?
Good night, chat. And remember to think positive, enjoy life, and enjoy Mushoku Tensei because the best is yet to come.